How's it going, man?
And what is going on?
Bear with me a moment. I'm burning. I haven't used this program or site before.
Oh, you're good. My brother actually, he uses it. He's in tech and web development, and I was like, I hate Microsoft Teams. It sucks. And he was like, here you go, use this. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Cool. So, how are you?
Dude, um, good, tired. We ain't got no water this morning, so I'm glad we're doing this virtual because I didn't get a shower. I went
Uh,
in, kicked on the shower, and no water came out, and I was like, yep, there we go. So, but now just running wide open. I'm sure you can relate to that.
oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've more work now than I've ever had in the past 8 years, and all of it is going to happen at the same time. I'm pretty sure.
Do you have any guys that you've hired in with you, or it's just you?
I had my dad is a level 3, um, but he's 66, 67 now. My younger brother is also a level 1, and 2018, 2019, 2020, I basically had the whole family working for me, and then COVID hit, and
Yep.
that was just it was a disaster to say the least. But we're still still in it. So
Still, we didn't die yet, so
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's been like, I don't know. I'm trying to build something I feel like that doesn't exist right now. So I don't even have anybody to like structure it off of or base any. It's all like completely from scratch, because I don't. Although I primarily do yachts and yacht failures and stuff like that, I also do a ton of land work, water, wastewater treatment, bridges, structural. They could be fireproofing, waterproofing, jet fuel storage tanks. Literally do everything. Um, and it's just like learning how to market to everything without coming across like we only know a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Little bit, a lot
right,
problem.
right. Meanwhile, like all coatings are they're coatings. Doesn't matter of what industry it is. Like as long as you familiarize yourself with it, you know, they all they all act very similar.
Hmm.
So it's been interesting. I never thought that yachts would be an avenue that we could even do. I mean,
Yeah.
I came from the poop plants, wastewater,
Well, you
and
did that, and you told me the story. You ended up with doing some work for Apple, right?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
indirectly,
right, right.
for their
So
contractor.
I actually defended their the contractor against Apple. Apple was trying to sue them into the ground because Apple screwed up,
Yeah.
and I proved without a doubt that it was Apple's fault. And I actually had posted something on LinkedIn a few months ago about it, like about the case and stuff, because this was back in 21. I know that like I signed an NDA with my client, not with Apple. And it's like it's really there's so much gray area in what I do because no one's prepared to have like their NDAs aren't structured for someone like me.
Hmm.
And so it
So
leaves
you
great.
could talk about Apple, but not who it was.
Exactly. And I can talk about it. However, the client that hired me actually seen the post, or someone sent it to him, and he's like, I don't care. He's like, you saved our behind on that whole situation. We're extremely grateful, and we want you to like promote yourself as best as you can, because there's like so many NDA things where like some of my cool work I can't even share.
Yeah.
And it's like, how am I supposed to market myself? Like, I do all this cool stuff, but I can't tell anybody for
Hmm.
7 or 8 years. And it's billionaires. So it's like, this isn't, you know, Joe down the street. Like if I share something, he might get pissed. This is like, they will sue me and just sue me into submission, basically.
Yeah, their lawyers would be like, this is a fun, warm up match for
Yeah, exactly.
for what we really do.
It wouldn't take much to crush me, to be honest. I'm not that big yet. But yeah, the good thing though is that certification, man, that certification is worth gold in my opinion.
Yeah, it's something I had written some questions to ask you about, because I don't have any. You're a 3, I have 0. I've talked for years about going, and it was always one of those like, oh yeah, the money left over at the end of the year, I'll go get it. And I've said that for like 5 years. So, some questions for you is, how'd you even get into it? I know you talked about your dad having it, and then what does that look like from a day to day, or even just a yearly? Like, hey, this is what we're doing, and this is really what we're solving. We know what it is surface level, but what are you really doing?
Right. Yeah. So I actually got in. I didn't even want to be in coatings. I grew up. My dad used to take me with him to Sherwin-Williams stores. Like, paint thinner is like my childhood. I just remember the smell of paint forever. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was like, paint's stupid. It's boring. That's gay. I don't want to do that, Dad. That's boring. That's, I 21 years old. I tried the Army, thought that was my career, had a like freak surgery that I had to have that ended my military career. So
Before
like
it began.
Yeah, every path I'm like, oh, I'll try this. I'm like, that didn't work. And then I was 21, 22 years old, completely lost, just drinking my face off because I'm like depressed. I was a notary making $16 an hour up in Pittsburgh. And I mean, I tried everything, mechanic, electrician, like I've jack of all trades. I'll get into that saying later, but the how I got into it was no path, didn't know what I was going to do. And then a friend of my dad's, his name's Kirk Shields, he reached out and was like, what's your eldest son up to? I need to get an inspector on this project, and I can't get anybody to go on it because of height. And I was afraid of heights. I didn't ride roller coasters or nothing. And they were like, if you go take this 5-day class, like, we can get you an interview. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. He's like, for $30 an hour. I'm like, double the money I'm making now for a 5-day class. I was like, yeah, like, absolutely. And because the alternative is go join a 4-year school that you sign on a bunch of debt, and then there's no guarantee for work. And I'm like, that's an awful idea. I was like, let's give this a shot. So I went to the class. I fell in love with it day one. I was just like, I had no clue that this was all involved, like the chemistry and the science behind all of it. I thought it was just, open up a can, dip a paintbrush, and you put it on. How hard could it be? And I think that's what most people think, honestly. And once I realized like how complex and like really just fascinating all of it was, like, I found my calling and was like top of my class. I struggled in school. I just ADD or whatever. But once I got in, they put me on that project. It was a 56-story skyscraper, the outside of it, working off swing stages. And it was 550,000 square feet of steel that was water jetted, 40,000 PSI. And then it was brush and rolled, 3 coats.
500,000 square feet.
It was around 4,400 windows that had to be feathered and cut. And then it was a zinc epoxy urethane system.
Wow. That was your first one.
Very first one.
Well, welcome to the show.
Exactly. And there was no like, here's weeks of training and here's like someone to I had a week or two of the guy that was quitting. And I swear it was like a week. And he was like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, good luck. So then I was sitting there working 7/12s, and I had 36 painters like on different parts of the building. And because we would have to like basically work around, like, just in the shade. We'd have to work in the shade. It would get way too hot. So like we would just kind of slowly corkscrew up and down the building throughout the day. And yeah, adrenaline was like maxed at that point. And it really kind of set the stage just for like me craving more interesting, dangerous stuff, like natural. Yeah, that was the first project. Had a blast. Like, had my whole world opened up from that 5-day class and then this first project. After that, naturally, I didn't save a dime like any young person does.
Any self-respecting 23-year-old.
Exactly. You spend everything plus some. And I was like, well, I can do this forever, like 7 days a week, whatever. After the project ended, I didn't know that like you'd have more than likely not have to travel, but if you're living up north, you're going to have to travel, or you're just going to work 7-8 months out of the year. So I ended up finding a Greek paint contractor, bridge painting contractor, and became their QC. So I basically learned how to hide every trick in the book for hiding stuff on bridge painting. I learned, which made me an awesome, inspector.
Yeah.
So I spent a year and a half with them, did a few bridges, did a bunch of stuff. It was an awesome, awesome experience. Then went back to the inspection side, did water towers in New York, Maryland, Eastern Pennsylvania, did a bridge, solar farm in Georgia, paper mills in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And then
now armed with knowing how you cheat too, so
exactly
on a lot.
Exactly. So it just so happened like the right style of projects and everything just kind of fell into I was at the right place, right time, with knowing the right people. And my mentor, Kirk Shields, I ended up back with him. I was with him the first project on the skyscraper. Then we went a few years apart, ended up back with him. He sent me to Virginia Beach for 2.5 years to do wastewater treatment plants. I think there were like 6 or 7 plants that we did, like all of their tanks, their bypasses, their like lift stations, all of the sewer lines. I mean, it was like
the whole
yeah, exactly. Ridiculous number of tanks and stuff that we did. And it was actually me and my dad. We were working for the same company. They put us in roommates together. And I was like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to like be with him again. Like, because me and him are like alike. So we just butt heads constantly.
Yeah.
But like looking back, like I'm so grateful that, like, I don't know, not many people get to work with their parents. So it's like, and it could be bad in some cases, but for me, like I really, really appreciate that time. I wish I would have appreciated it more in the moment. But I'm still hopeful. My dad's been working for GPI. After COVID happened, he needed like health benefits and stuff. And as I'm growing this business, I'm not in a position to pay for great health care right now. So I was like, let's, he went to GPI. He's been doing some bridge work and stuff. He's a level 3 too. His NACE number is 3,000, like 3,073 or something like that.
Oh, wow, he's got a low one.
Yeah, mine is 37,000. My brother's is like 70 some thousand or something like that. So yeah, he's been in it a while. But he's unfortunately just like a majority of our industry that doesn't like technology. I feel like 90% of our industry doesn't like it.
Yeah, because
And
a lot of what you guys do is still pen and paper, right? You're filling
well,
out 100
that's
pages of forms
that's what they
right now.
use. I've switched. I've converted it all to digital and
Hmm.
have templates for just about everything. Um, and really like grabbed that reporting. Like we've been using the same reports since like the 90s. Like nothing changes. And so like with this industry, there's so much room for like advancement and just improvements from the
Hmm.
younger generation if they were aware that this career existed. And I think that's what I'm hoping to do with my channel. I feel like you're doing, this something similar, and just trying to bring awareness, kind of show the younger people that there's some really cool jobs out there that don't require $100,000 degree.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a ton of room to come over here and not go, because everybody's like, I want to be in tech, I want to be in tech sales, but or tech sales, tech development, whatever,
Right.
which is cool, but um, I think a lot of people are looking at that like I'm gonna be Elon, and it's
Big.
like I know I ain't, and I'm good in this space, so I'm a
Right.
fight over here. So
Right.
and it's just what
Exactly.
I know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm right there with you. But yeah, the pay I find it super interesting, and I'm still trying to understand exactly what's going on in our industry regarding pay and the going rate for different certification levels and experience and all that. Because I remember when I first started, obviously it was 2012. Um, First job, I got 30 an hour, and
Hmm.
it was like 10 grand a month take home back then, which was wild. And I've heard recently that the going rate for an inspector is like 25 to 30 bucks an hour. And I'm like, you're telling me in 13 years it's stayed the exact same? Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. My mentor, Dan Toft, I don't know if you know him. He's with Durhamar up in Massachusetts.
I was going to ask you if you had a mentor, and how your career and everything, like how you got in.
Yeah, he well,
What,
we'll
what was
we'll
it?
get
What was
to
his
that because
name?
Dan Toft, Toft.
It sounds familiar.
He's taught me so much, and I find it interesting. You mentioned, hey, the inspectors are 25, 30 an hour. I know, because like our side, we don't touch yachts, and we don't really touch buildings, so we're all industrial. He's like, an inspector on site's 3,500 a day. Now, that's us billing it. They might take home, 2,000, but I mean, that's still,
Yeah.
you're up over 100 an hour. So I wonder if there's some difference there where building
Definitely.
people are like, we just don't care.
It's definitely something like that, but it's just interesting because like the bridges and wastewater treatment, the states and counties and stuff require someone to be NACE or AMP certified,
Hmm.
anytime they're dealing with coding projects. But they always go out to bid. They get 10 or 5 to 10 different inspection companies, and everyone's competing for the lowest rate. And it's like that's an awful system.
We want to guarantee we have the best system by paying the least to guarantee it.
I'm like, this is literally the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed. And it's not like one industry's doing it, all of the industries are doing it. And it's like, and then they hire me to sue the shit out of this contractor because he did a bad job. And it's like, the paint job should have cost you $750,000 and you got it for 200 grand. What did you think was going to happen? You were going to get this
Hmm.
excellent Ferrari finish? And they do. They really do. And it's like, how, I don't even know where to begin to address that side, but that's something I'm going to have to deal with sooner or later. Yeah, when I first started my company in 2018, my very first project, which that whole the way that my company started was just crazy. None of it was planned. There was no like business plan and like well thought process. I got asked like 5 days before Christmas if I wanted to start a company, and I would be given a $250,000 contract for 1 year.
Really?
Yeah. And at the time, well, they were going to give it to me out from my employer and my mentor who got me the job. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I want this really badly. I was like, but I can't just like say yes and screw the guy that brought me here. I was like, and he didn't just bring me here. He brought me into the industry, put me on all this work.
Mhm.
Like, I would be an absolute piece of human garbage if I like pulled some slimy stuff like that with this guy. So I thanked him for the offer. I said, please give me a few days to like consider and work things out. And he acknowledged that. So over Christmas break of 2017, I was like, I immediately stepped out and called my mentor and was like, so I was offered the project today if I wanted to start my own company. It was just like quiet. I was like, I want to do it with you. Like, join me. Let's start our own. Because he was working for the employer at the time. He didn't like own it. He had his own, he was just the consultant for the company.
Mhm.
But he was like, this opportunity never happens. Like something like this never really happens. So he's like, I would never forgive myself if I held you back from a situation like this. And he was like, unfortunately, this project isn't big enough for the two of us to like just tackle and like relax. And, like, and he was 61, 62 with health issues that he wasn't sharing. So he was like, it's yours. It's all yours. Let me know what equipment you need, to get started until you get on your feet. And he literally handed me the project. And
Wow.
January 2nd, I had the company registered. January 12th, I had the company insured. And that was like my first day of my contract.
Mhm.
And it was 135 an hour. So I went from 90,000 a year salary. It's like 4,400 a month take home
Hmm.
to it was like 24,000 a month. And it was like all because of just signing some papers, changing some names, and writing a contract, and like that was it. And had that project. I was 40 hours a week, and we were literally building a yacht inside and out, and it was a nightmare project, unfortunately. It's in court right now. It's been in court since 2019 when the project shut down. The original project was a $7.5 million boat that was very poorly made. Basically, the owner bought a lemon yacht, and instead of like taking a few $1 million loss to just renovate it or whatever, he's like, I'm going to show them how to build a yacht. So he hired naval architects, engineers, everybody, rented a shipyard, and the budget was 25 million to turn this thing into like the sleekest, most craziest yacht on the waters. So it was a dissimilar metal soup, steel hull, stainless steel deck, aluminum house,
Oh, good
Cooper
God.
nickel piping, stainless piping, and yeah, it was insane. I never knew that anything like this existed. But project was running full speed ahead, and my first year, while handling that, I was able to get 18 other yachts to contact me for like short 1-day survey, go and do an assessment, write a report. So on top of the main yacht project that was full time, there were 18 other yachts, and then I also landed a condo project that had a big steel structure up on the roof, and then our steel structure down in like the entryway, ground floor, and a wastewater treatment plant. Like all in the first year with no advertising, no nothing, just like, hey, I heard you started a company, and it's like, yeah, come bid this job, or come check this out. Ever since, it's just been that, like, literally no advertising other than like what I've been posting on LinkedIn and stuff. But no paid ads, no paid anything for advertising. It's all just been word of mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really crazy from 2018 when I started the company to just 2021. I was already hired by like that Apple project situation. So it's moved very quickly. I will say from 2021, 22, up until about 6 months ago, my revenue took like a 60%, like was chopped by 60%. And I had no clue why. Just nosedived. And I'm like, what is going on? Everybody around me is telling me, keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it. And I'm like, I just lost like more money than I've ever made.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it, like, what happened. What's like, why is it like this? Several years of that. And it was like, I mean, I was doing okay. Better than most probably, but it was a struggle for sure.
Was it coming out of COVID? Everybody just pumping brakes?
No, it turns out that in 2020, 21 is when I started doing expert witness work for being hired to sue when people are suing. And I get hired to basically determine who's going to be paying for paint jobs and who's not. As I was learning that whole side of things, like, you have to really be careful with how you word stuff. And because it's going to court, like, there's millions of, or hundreds of thousands, upwards of millions of dollars that are at stake. And it's not like this big mega corporation thing. It's like this guy that's a paint contractor that he's sitting there doing the best he can to like bid work accurately while everyone's racing to the bottom. Discount prices, still high quality. And it's wild what goes on with all of it. Lost my train of thought.
Well, you said you were doing the expert work, so you think maybe some of that was people going, I don't want to work with him.
There was one paint contractor that paints 70% of the yachts in the US. And just so happened that a ton of my wins were against him. And I went into it most of those times not even knowing who the contractor was, so that there wouldn't be any like, oh, so-and-so did it, I need to check this, or like, that way everything is viewed the same equally. There's no bias.
No backdoor deals or anything.
Yeah, it just helps with eliminating any bias that could come up. So most of the times that like I'm sitting there crushing whoever, not all of them, there were several that the attorney would be like, don't hold back. Like, go hard on this one. Like, all right. So, and again, I'm learning, like, in writing how hard are my punches. You know what I mean? Like, figuring that out, because I'm sitting here trying to throw like haymakers when I probably don't need to, and all I'm doing is like really hurting the other person that they're not in that situation on like intentionally. It's usually something they tried to do it as cheap as possible. Things go south, and it's like, instead of working together to like just fix it, make it right, some owners are just like, oh, I'm suing. So it's like there's two sides to the whole thing. And as I learned that, like without realizing, I noticed, I was like, the one contractor that I used to deal with, I haven't seen him in years. And some of his guys, like I know them and haven't heard from any of them either. I'm like, it's a little weird. So I like reached out and started like prodding just to see, like, get some information. It turns out there was a project that I was going to do with this Italian boat builder. It was me as the paint expert surveyor, and then the paint contractor that I wanted. Like me and him work really well together. So we were going to tackle this warranty situation on a new yacht that was messed up. I think it was like 2 days before the project was supposed to start. The Italian builder yanked my contract and yanked the paint contractors, like, and handed it to somebody else, like last minute. And it was like for $5,000 less or something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I don't think that that's like, they're able to do that. Like I was hired by the owner of the yacht. Like the owner of the yacht was actually, like, he wanted me there. The yacht builder was going to be paying my bill. So because of that, the way that they pulled that, the owner was like, I'm hiring him directly. So the yacht builder had their surveyor, the owner had me. So two of us were working on the same one. And it turns out that contractor is the one that refused to work with me. He would refuse. And he's the cheapest. So the cheapest guy who does a bulk of the work was refusing to work with me. And I don't blame him at all. From his perspective, it looked like I'm some asshole that just has it out for him. And it's like, I was so pissed off. I'm like, why didn't you talk to me? Like, bro, 4 years of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have had a discussion and cleared this up like right away. So this contractor was forced to work with me on this one. And I was like, I promise you, I'm not as bad as you may think. Like, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm genuinely not, even though I've hurt him a bunch. So it took that project, us having back and forth discussions. The owner of the yacht gave me his cell phone number because I could never get a hold of this guy to even begin to talk. Got his number. I called him. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail. And I just, explained the whole thing. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just want to say that first. I'm sorry if I financially hurt you. Like, that was never the intention. And as I've learned, like, you guys go through hell. I'm trying to help both, you guys and the owners, because it's a mess on both sides. So he ended up calling me back like the next day and invited me to his company cookout. Went and had some drinks, some food. We didn't get to talk too much, so he invited me to lunch with his family the next, like, couple days later. And him and I talked it out, hashed it out, and he's now accepting work with me again. So as soon as that happened, the workload fucking immediately picked back up, and I was just like, son of a bitch. I was like, why didn't you...
60%.
I was like, why didn't we, like, it was so frustrating that I couldn't even see that was a possibility until it was so long into it. That's some of the stuff I get to deal with, though.
Yeah. Well, I see it from both sides where it's like, I'm here to protect the guy buying the boat, but also if I'm working with you, then I did the inspection before and you're not going to get sued because you're going to know it was inspected and we'll fix it there.
The way that I express it to him was like what he's dealt with in the past from other surveyors, who a lot of the other surveyors aren't even certified in anything. They've just they were a painter back in the day and they know everything about paint.
Yeah.
So as you can tell in court, it's pretty easy for me to just mop up because I just have a bunch of uncertified people talking like they know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Even like down to the testing, like crosshatch adhesion test, where you can use, like, the old school method was using razor blades, but you'd have to like perfectly measure them out. They have to be 1 millimeter apart or 2 millimeters apart. It's all based on the thickness of the coating and the environment and everything. And it's either 6 cuts or 11, and it's vertical and horizontal. So you make a crosshatch, like a little chessboard of cuts. They have to be straight. I'll have, Federico from Italy, the yacht expert. His fucking lines are all crooked and not.
He's using his pocket knife and like, oh yeah, there we go.
Exactly, and it's like, this isn't valid on any planet. Like, like, what is going on? I had another surveyor, and this one blew my mind. And this is when I knew, like, I have to do something because this is like really messed up. There was a guy, his name's Peter Bergsma, and I don't mind sharing his name because the guys shouldn't be, like, everyone should hear about him and stay the hell away from him. He's from Europe. Apparently, he was chased out of Europe in 2017 for pulling the same stuff. Came over to the US and just continued doing it. And he would just, like, he would make himself sound like he's the smartest. He would convince the owner, the captain, that he knows everything about coatings. So, and all he would do is run around and like fuck with tests to make it look bad, and then fuck with the contractor, make him respray, and he would cost contractors 200 grand to 500 grand every project. And
Every
like,
single one.
Every one. And I'm like, why is this, like, how is he still getting work? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And sure enough, I mean, he literally from 2018, 2019 up until earlier this year, I think it was February or March of this year, the safe harbor marinas, they have 154, 155 marinas all over the world. They banned him from all of their marinas. And I was like, hell yeah. Like,
yeah.
Finally. Like, what the hell took so long?
Yeah, back to quality, thank God.
Oh, like, I mean, I felt really, really bad. I mean, these contractors, like, their bidding process, like, it's literally like walking a tightrope. It's the craziest, like, out of all the industries I've seen, yacht painting, it's like the highest risk thing I've ever seen.
I thought that's interesting. I thought that would be the opposite, because it would be if somebody comes in and bids $1 million and bids $2 million and a third guy bids $3 million, the $1 million probably isn't going to get it, and the guy's going to ask the difference between 2 to 3 because they have money. You know, I figured it would be, I don't want to say lucrative in a bad way, but far less.
So it can be very lucrative. There's extreme risk with it. It's like, even if you bid it right, things like, and getting change orders, and like, the industry is not even structured for this. There's no standards. So it's literally people saying, I want my boat painted. Okay, I'll paint your boat. And then they argue over what's good versus bad because there's nothing. I have been basically taking automotive industry stuff, carrying that over for automotive finish assessments, for finish quality, like with reflected image. Like when you look in a paint film, is the reflection image distorted at all? And in most cases it is, but it's what's the limit of our eyes that we can tell. And then you get into the whole distance thing, like, because there's no such thing as 100% perfect paint job, other than like maybe 100% waterproof, 100% like fireproof, stuff like that. With finish quality, there's going to be 5% that is like off a little, and it's
Yeah.
usually just visual stuff for the most part. It's not like performance affecting.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So you're saying like it might not look perfect, but functionally you're
Exactly.
sealed, you're protected.
Exactly. And that's what unique about the industry. And but if it's like it looks okay. It's like they don't mind. With yachts, it's like, you see this spec? It's like, I see, and I have captains that are like this. It'll be one spec on a 140-foot hull, and they're like, I can't accept this. And I'm like, I'm going to shut the lights off, turn them back on, us walk back and forth, point that spot out to me again. And they spend 5 minutes looking for it. I'm like, this is passing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and make this contractor strip this and redo it for one speck of dust. They do have a guide that's available that allows for 4 pieces of dust per 4-inch by 4-inch square, with no limit on 4-inch by 4-inch squares.
So, like, so you can
picture a grid.
You could make a bunch of 4s all the way down the boat.
You could have 4 dust every 4 inches, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like close to non-skid. And it's like, that shouldn't be acceptable. Then you get into like, well, then there's high vis areas and low vis, which I do understand. Like underneath the stairs that no one is ever going to look at. No, I'm not going to fail this because there's like a couple specks of dust in a one run under the stair that you can't even get to. Like, I'm not going to, and that's the kind of stuff that I get. That's where I like, that's my day to day is literally, no, that's okay. No, this needs redone. And that's basically what I deal with.
Just walking the line between the two. We're not worrying about that, and we are worrying about this.
Exactly. And then it's like, I'll have captains that are convinced someone told them this, and if this happens, and it's like, you were sort of right, but that's not this situation. And it's just literally acting as a mediator between the two. Because it's like two people that know enough about coatings. One of them knows a decent amount. The other one knows enough to be dangerous. And the two of them are trying to figure this out by themselves.
You're like, hold on, let's open up this other book over here.
I'm like,
we're missing some stuff.
I'm like, here's all this like equipment we can use. Here's all this testing we can do to verify that things are being done right. And the hardest thing that I'm dealing with is measuring paint thickness, which should be the easiest thing. Because I know the technologies exist. I just know that we don't have them because our industry's old.
Mm-hmm.
This is a normal yacht paint system. So ignore the green. Some boats use it, some don't. I'm not a fan of it. Epoxy hull guard, epoxy fairing compound, epoxy high build, epoxy finish primer, urethane top coat. With this fairing compound, this stuff can be applied up to 6 millimeters per pass. You can build it up 5 inches, 6 inches thick. It has to be at 6 millimeters at a pass. It cannot exceed that. And 9 times out of 10, when boats are being built, hurry. They'll build it up 8. They'll build it up 10. Sand it. Oh, everything looks good. They'll put the rest of the coats on. And then in 6 months to a year, once the boat comes from Europe down to the Caribbean, the water temperatures are so massive. The sun UV is so different. They don't properly post-cure and increase temperatures to like basically bake all the solvents out of it. So what you have is post-cure happening while it's in transit to the Caribbean
with a top coat on it.
So this fairing compound, with them exceeding, 6 millimeters, you get these air pockets within the fairing. As it's post curing, you get this pulling and like contracting and expanding. And because there's this air pocket in the fairing that's not meant to be there, like that's not designed for that, what it does is you'll end up with 1 inch, 2 inch cracks everywhere that there is a air pocket in that fairing. You'll get a crack straight through the paint. And then the only way to fix it, strip everything down, reapply the fairing. So it's literally redoing everything.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, you can't, like, those kind of mistakes, those are the ones that can literally bankrupt a paint contractor on one job. Even if they're doing well, one job could literally bankrupt them.
And I'm guessing that's the hardest part and the first part, because the top coat issues, sand buff, maybe do another coat. Okay.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can do that.
Exactly. And that's where like in progress inspections are becoming like huge with yachts. It wasn't a thing until lately. But yeah, like verifying that each, it's basically like a hold point for each layer, before, during, and after. Right before it's applied, we'll check conditions, check cleanliness, check dust, all of that. Then once it's applied, monitor conditions, make sure that for the next 24 hours that conditions stay good. Because being in South Florida, it's friggin' hot. And a lot of these coatings have a top application environment temp of 100 degrees. It can get to 110, 120 in the containment easy.
So then they have that by 10 a.m. in the summer.
Exactly. So like they have 8 air conditioning units hooked up, but then you're messing with like, you're introducing cold air to hot air, and that condenses. So it's like, it's just a very tricky environment altogether. It's like wastewater was the harshest chemical environments that I've seen. Paper mills, industrial, like any of those things that just have tanks of like super like bromine and stuff. And like those stuff, but like the yacht paint is just a whole nother animal. It's really unique because like you have your performance side of things where the paint could be perfectly fine. It could perform exactly how it's supposed to, but the owner's like, it doesn't look good. And it's like, where do you draw that line?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really, like it's so hard to draw like a straight, solid, hard line. Like, this is good, this is bad. Because it's very dependent. Like, how old is the boat? If it's 30 years old, it's original fairing compound. And you're like, well, there's some unevenness here.
Well, yeah, you ran in water for 30 years.
Yeah, you don't want to spend $6 million to refair the whole boat. You just want to spend 400 grand or 500 grand to just refresh the top coat. And that's what a lot of them do. So they'll get this applied at the beginning when they're built. Every 5 to 7 years in the south, closer to the equator, every 5 to 7 years, you're repainting top coat. The rest of these are good for 15, 25, 30 years. It all depends on how well they're applied and all of that. But it's really interesting. Up in Seattle, I have a few yachts up there, and they can last 8 to 12 years without needing to refresh their top coat. All UV.
So yeah, cooler water coming out of the north. You got a lot of different things playing there.
Yep. And I don't know if it's just like the cloudiness of Seattle, probably. Yeah, like they don't get much.
Yeah, I think
sun.
Seattle gets, is it 190 days of rain per year? It's more than like anywhere in the US.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So playing, like, because of the blocked sun, their paint jobs hold up literally 4 years longer. It's pretty wild. I mean, you figure for every boat that's in Seattle, one time they get painted, a Florida boat is getting painted twice. So it's like the cost of that is insane. So, and that's another thing, like the cost for paint jobs for yachts, it's roughly speaking, and this is just for like refreshing top coats, not fairing and all that stuff, but it's like $5,000 a foot, linear foot.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So 100-foot boat, $500,000 for just sanding, new finish primer, new top coat.
Yeah.
If you're gonna strip the boat and redo all of it, the fairing and all of that, that same project would end up being 1.8 million, probably 1.2, 1.8.
And that's going back doing your 1/4 inch of fairing compound and all that on the whole thing. Wow.
And then once the fairing is applied, they actually will have like 4 to 6 to 8 painters all on a sanding board, all at the same time, because you want this huge, long, flat piece, and that's what gets everything super flat and fair. It's wild what you can see. High gloss coatings with that stuff. If there's any, like, someone went a little too hard, if there's sanding marks, that will show through. And it's devastating when that happens.
Yeah, I didn't even think. I wonder if that, you notice it on vehicles, especially if it's black and metallic where you get a lot of reflection, you can see every little spot that's in there.
Well, that's the other thing, the metallics. Of course, the wealthiest people love doing the craziest stuff. So there are a lot of like Italian boats that come from the factory with metallic, like Riva, Perishing. They're like these sport boats, basically luxury sport boats. The metallic paint jobs are the hardest thing to do. It's insane because like the way that the metallic flake lays is based on like the angle, the distance, the temperature, like all of it plays into it. So it's like for you to do a repair on metallic, you have to spray it in the exact way that whoever applied it first did it. And that's like not something that's, you can't, like, there's no way of testing that or to fit. Like you literally have to try it. Oh, that didn't work. Sand, redo, until
further away, change the angle, all sorts of stuff
until they find the right like angle pattern that the guy, whoever did it first. Like metallics are so difficult. So then you run into boats wrecking into boats, or this catamaran, this $25,000 catamaran boat bumped into this $50 million super yacht and scratched the hell out of the metallic paint. And they're like, well, we can just buff it. And, like, unfortunately, we have to repaint the entire hull side now. So then the insurance company's like, what? We're not paying for that. And it's like, you literally have to. You guys hit the only boat that you could have hit any other boat here, and it would have been fine.
But you hit the custom one.
You hit the one that, we have to paint the whole hull. And I've had so many instances where that was the case. And they always argue. They try to argue, we're not paying that. And it's like,
what we paid the premiums for. Pay up.
Exactly. But yeah, there's so much room though. Like I really enjoy the yacht stuff just because it's fascinating. I don't know. To me, it's like engineering, like at its finest, because it's like other engineering has like financial constraints. Where it's like, we have to do this for cheap. We have to do this efficient. With yachts, it's like, I want this to be the coolest thing that's out there. So you just have like ridiculous stuff. There's a diamond company, diamond manufacturer or diamond broker that partnered with Allgrip, the paint manufacturer that does yacht paint. They have a $25,000 per gallon top coat that has 300 carats of crushed diamond in it.
Really?
Yeah. And to be honest, it's like a tacky, it looks tacky like because it's so like pop, like
In
it
your
pops.
face?
Yeah, that it's just like I'm not a fan of it, but I think it's just a bragging, thing.
Oh yeah, it's the same. What was that? This was back maybe 10, 15 years ago. There was a guy over, was he in the Middle East? I'm trying to remember, but he had like a diamond encrusted Mercedes
Yep.
SLR.
I know exactly
You
what you're
probably know the
talking
one
about.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
I know
It's-
exactly who you're talking about. He himself, like he's filled, like blinged out with jewelry inside and
yeah.
out, everything. Yeah.
He's I think he's worth like $1 trillion something. People are like, you can't be, and he is, because he doesn't have to report his income, but he owns like
Right.
half of Saudi Arabia or something like that.
So awesome. I hope one day we get to do that. I don't want to have to report.
Own half a country or not report it.
Not
Or
reporting
both.
it. And both. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with all the tariffs coming in, and all that, I could see it going away if it can all get pushed through.
All right. Yeah.
It'd be nice, because I don't want to pay taxes
All right.
anymore.
Yeah. So you have your bachelor's in chemistry, right?
Chemical engineering.
That's
So
it.
that was, yeah. So I had gone through. It's funny how this comes full circle. So I was very much everybody needs to go to school, whatever. When I was in school, did 3 internships for some companies. It was so I'm from Ohio originally, and was up there doing internships. And on the last one, I think like 4 months, 6 months before I was supposed to graduate, I was like, I don't want to do this, but I was already done. So finished school, graduated. A buddy of mine in the program was like, hey, this guy reached out for a technical sales rep. He was looking for engineers, whatever. And I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And they were up in Ohio, Michigan. And so all of it was the industrial epoxies, which is everything. I mean, you've seen all the stuff I talk about. So it was all that. Got there for 8 months, and they were a distributor. So left them for a manufacturer out of Houston, stayed there for about a year, and being point blank, in my infinite wisdom as a 23-year-old, I was an asshole. So got fired from there. And then helped another buddy launch a company out of Louisiana. So that's Unique Supply. So Nate Schmidt, he's over there. He owns it. Super, super good dude. One of my best friends. And helped him launch that for about 4 years. And then August of last year, went out on my own, just doing the coatings, linings, composites, all industrial grade stuff. So you mentioned paper mills. So paper and pulp mills, chemical processing, oil and gas, coal mining. If it's nasty and in a plant, that's that's where I hang out. Which, the full circle part was, in school, I said everybody needs to go to school, because I didn't get it, that it just like wasn't a thing. And now that I'm here, I'm like, I don't know that I would go to school again. I mean, my degree certainly helps, because I can talk with all the engineers, but so much of it, I'm like, just skip college. If you want to skip it, skip it. Go into industry, and
I'm telling
you'll
you,
rip.
That AMP certificate is worth gold. And I'm not joking. The thing that AMP is screwing up on massively, and I actually just had a discussion with one of the guys that's pretty tight with them yesterday. Because I get why they're doing it, but I'm surprised that they haven't seen that, like, it's not working. They're pursuing college students to get certified, like engineering students, which I can understand why. You want people that are engineering minded. The problem is, in their minds, their degree is always going to be worth more than that certificate, because of how much they're paying for it. It has to be worth more. And it's like, in their brain, no matter what, that's going to be the thing. And it's like selling ice, ice to Eskimos. Like, it's just not, they're not going to see the benefit. They're not going to utilize it. Like, it should be like, go for young high school kids that don't want to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah, get in, go, because, well, I don't know what they do now, but I mean, they would have career fairs starting freshman year in high school.
Exactly.
Start there and just and get people out on jobs. Hey, come out, it's some investment, but in the summer, come out, work with us. We're going to pay you. Because I've noticed a lot of internships are like, we don't want to pay. Well, then you're not going to get who you want.
Exactly.
Pay something. Even if it's $20 an hour. Like,
for sure.
Trust me, if I was 16 making 20 an hour, I would have been happy.
Right.
So do it, get people out, and you're going to find a few, but there's also, 30 million high schoolers out there?
Right. And my thing, so, like, I was ADD, did not do good in school, didn't even get on medication until I was 21. Once I was medicated, then, I swear it was like a few weeks later, I fell into the paint stuff and it just like instantly took off. But it was so easy to put like hard effort, full effort for 5 days as opposed to 4 years, 2 years, 8 years, whatever. Like, that was the selling point for me. And I mean, like I said, my first year, 10 grand a month right out of the gate. And it's like, I don't know if you could do that with many other, like, I'm sure there are some certs out there that you could, but for $2,700 in 5 days, like, I don't think that there's anything else out there that can return on investment. I mean, I'm charging right now in between $250 to $1,200 an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like no degree. I was so against it. And I just got I have the coatings level 3 and then cathodic level 1. There's 4 levels for cathodic.
Oh, you did go cathodic route too.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got both. And cathodic protection's some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. Like, I was like a stud in the coating stuff, man. And that cathodic protection, I was like, fuck, like, I'm confident in my abilities, but
because it's chemistry, so it's just magic. There's no,
exactly.
hard
The scariest thing with it is you can't mess up, though. Like, if you mess up in the right way, you can accelerate corrosion.
Oh yeah,
like really fast. And that was like, I don't know, like the whole evil villain thing. I've had a few like angry situations come up where I'm just like, I could dissolve your entire structure.
Yeah.
Hook up a cathodic protection system, your structure will be gone. It'll be a pile of rust.
Yeah, we put a mixed metal oxide on this and it was gone in about 3 months. Be like, yes, it is.
So I'm actually in the middle of I'm waiting for the approval right now for Disney, my first contract with Disney. They have a major corrosion issue on one of their resorts, and it's this 15-story metal art structure that's attached to the side of a resort. They use steel supports. There's copper. They used a bunch of different fucking metals.
Because it's art. We're fancy.
Yeah. And this material spoke to me better than the other ones. Well, Disney's panicking because there's steel loss already. Like, their steel supports are turning to Swiss cheese, and it sounds like it's really accelerated. So they're going to pay me $35,000 to go stop the corrosion and put together a repair plan. So all I'm doing is going to look at it. I'm going to write what I think they should do, and for $35,000.
Yeah. It's I think, just personal opinion, I think it's good money, and to loop back to the whole college thing is get the guys out of high school and say you're going to learn on the job, and then if you like it, then go pay for school if you need
Right.
more schooling, or you want,
Right.
if you want to specialize, hey, I'd like mechanical
Right.
engineering or chemistry, whatever. And that I would say you don't even need the degree. Go take the classes, skip the rest, and
Right.
say, all right, I took 4 more classes. It cost me 10 grand. I don't know what a class costs, but I
Well,
took
what's
some
cool is that
chemistry stuff, and I'm good.
yeah, that AMP cert, they actually, part of you holding that cert requires continued education. Each year you have to do certain amount, X amount of like hours per year of either seminars, going to events, like some educational things. And like we are required yearly, we have to go through and fill it out, like what we've done throughout the year. And since I'm dealing with like the lawsuit stuff, that's like the most points or whatever. So it's like I half-ass my profile thing each year. I'm just like lawsuit, just 12 or 13 lawsuits a year. I think I need 3 a year to like have the point. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. But the thing with the AMP cert that I love is that it holds people are held accountable. Like if there's a lot of like, you can get bribed like really easily. That a lot of that goes on. So like having integrity is huge. And it's like, I want guys that are ambitious, hungry, and have integrity. Everything else, like learn, I don't mistakes. Like I'd rather see like the mistakes happen and see people learn than like people make mistakes, try to hide it, and like it never goes well. Never goes well.
Well, and seeing that, there's plenty of stuff that I know now because I fucked it up. And then I'm like, oh, I ain't doing that again.
Exactly.
You'll learn real fast that way versus, reading from a PowerPoint presentation, just being like, okay, sounds good.
I'm the type I can read it and run into that exact environment and I'll still do the wrong thing. I'm like, I knew better, but I still did it.
Yeah. What the book say? I forget. Do it anyways.
But I highly recommend getting that cert. I think the value of it. Well, me and the guy Jim Kunkel that I talked with yesterday, we're talking about this. That like AI, it's coming for inspectors. Like I can see it already because you can take like Meta glasses with Ray-Ban AI in the glasses, wear the glasses as you do your inspection. This is what I'm implementing. At least I'm trying to utilize AI in a way that as a tool and not in a way that it replaces me.
Yeah.
But basically using AI to write my reports. And like I can basically walk around the boat or whatever the thing I'm inspecting. I can upload a blueprint, like a drawing of the structure or whatever it is, and then AI can literally, all of the non-conformance items that I find and see, I'll put like a piece of tape, colored masking tape, and one thing with me, you can always tell when I've inspected something versus other people because of the I have like every color of masking tape for different things. So it'll just be a colorful mess. And but the AI, what it'll do is basically take all my like all the stuff that I did and just spit it out into like a drawing, mark up where everything is that I've seen. And I mean, it'll shave off 6-7 hours worth of effort with and I think if with our industry, especially because most of it's older guys that don't like technology, like we have to do something or else AI is just gonna, I can tell the way that the clients, doesn't matter the industry, if they can have one less person to pay or deal with, they're going to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's AI is I say scary. I'm cooler with it now than I was like 2 years ago. Even a year ago, I was like, I will not touch it. I didn't like it. Um, I just didn't think it was good, and now I've certainly switched. It's still scary,
It
but
definitely scary.
the amount of stuff, like if I write a specification for doing a acid containment, I can, rather than spend 10 hours proofreading, I can just rough write the whole thing, put it in, and you got to make some tweaks. And in
Yeah,
5 minutes, it's like, cool, here you go. All right, well, it wrote that wrong. That word isn't even right, and you fix
exactly.
it, and I can do it in an hour.
Right.
Um,
That's making
and
us more
it's
efficient. That's the goal for sure.
yeah,
Because I've especially with like the complex issues that I run into, trying to explain it to someone that doesn't understand it, I struggle with that big time. Like I can sit here and talk like normal, technical verbiage all day long, but for me to like transfer, like my job is to relay that mess, like whatever's going on, to relay it to the client, the customer, whoever, in a way that they understand. Because to
yeah.
me, it's like that's what they're paying me for, to help make sense of the whole thing. So using
I was
like
using something. I don't. Have you heard of the Hemingway app
no,
for grade
I-
level writing?
I
So
briefly heard of it. I don't think I'd looked into it though.
So I do, because I'll go, like, I'm a nerd, so I'll write it and I'll be like, oh wow, that's, far too technical to even, not even for people to understand, just to have a real conversation. It's like throwing out, acronyms and big words and whatever. So
Right,
I'll put what I wrote into Hemingway, and then it'll highlight run-on sentences, whatever, so you can clean up your writing, and then also what grade level you're writing at. And so I write everything at 5th grade and under, not because people are stupid. It's just, it's so much simpler, to be
yeah,
able to to be able to write like that, and then everything's explained in simple words.
right,
So rather than, hey, the film thickness profile, on this blah blah blah, it's just like your paint thickness was X, and it
right,
it drops that down a tremendous amount. And then I use it when I do the specifications, and I'll tell, like, if I use, chat GPT to clean that up, I'll say write this and put it in a fifth grade or lower reading level, and it's unreal. Again, you got to go make some corrections to
for
it,
sure.
but it's unbelievably easy. So I got
That's really
somebody
cool.
walking up here. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, good.
Oh, sorry about that. The dog loses his shit when
All good.
somebody knocks at the door.
All good.
Um, I forget where I was. Oh, yeah, the reading level. That's just helped me especially get good. And the more I do it, the less editing, it takes. But just for writing clearly, concisely, because I personally don't like writing like very overly technical or marketing things, where it's like 50 buzzwords. I don't
Right,
I don't dislike reading it. I just don't like writing it. I'm just like, this feels, cheesy.
right, right. what was I going to say?
So you mentioned, obviously you went CIP 1, 2, 3, and we talked about getting the younger generation out into it. Go through, I know a little bit about it, but go through that step 1, 2, 3, what each one does, can do in that process.
Yeah. So AMP's broken up basically into two categories, like the coating side of things and cathodic protection. Cathodic protection is mostly like pipelines, underground stuff that isn't usually seen. Coatings is coatings. Level 1, you can go into it with nothing. No, like I heard of epoxy. I heard some of the terminology before, but I knew nothing. They teach you everything you need to know. Literally from the ground up. And all of it happens in 4 days. There's like 600 pages of material, and you just get crushed with paint, rust, corrosion, terminology. For me, it was one of the few things like everything about it made sense. It was very black and white. Like, I feel like our English language is very gray. Like, so it's like
At best.
exactly. So like experiencing a class where it's just like, wow, like all of this, like this is the first thing I've ever heard that makes like all of this make sense to me. And it's just real basic stuff, like just basic chemistry, basic science stuff. And the level 1, like once you're certified, it's not like you can instantly go out and start like solving problems, it helps give you the base foundation that you need to go out in the field to even understand what's going on. Once you're out in the field, that's where you learn most of the stuff. Like actually seeing, paint failures and seeing what things look like, they move forward, and you kind of are able to see that like difference in, oh, this is what a good paint job looks like versus what bad ones look like.
And as a 1, you work under a level 2, level 3. Like you're not
Correct.
independent by
Yeah,
any.
you're not by yourself at all. You're, like I said, enough to be dangerous kind of at a level 1, but it's like all of your stuff is overseen by somebody that does know what they're doing. So it's honestly a great setup. I think any report that gets submitted, I think it has to be signed off by a level 3. I'm not sure I think there's some instances level 2 is okay. But yeah, level 1 is pretty much steel, coatings for steel, the basics. Level 2 gets into concrete and like other metals and stuff like that. And it definitely becomes more complicated, but it's complicated, but in like a weird, good way. It still all makes sense. It just expands on what you already know. Because all of it, whether it's an epoxy for, a private jet or a yacht, or if it's an epoxy for a wastewater plant, they're all epoxies. Like there's
Yeah, if you're
minor
going to
little
steel, you're going to steel.
there's little tweaks and little like additives and stuff, but for the most part, it all operates the same. So it's like the same issues that happen at wastewater plants. Yachts have mini wastewater plants built into them. They have black water storage tanks. That's the same stuff as wastewater. So there's a ton of overlap. Like I said, with all the industries, it's all coatings based. And coatings can even get into like gel coat on boats. There's gel coat and then there's paint. It's a little weird and complicated, but gel coat is like it's more durable, but it's not as repairable, and it does hold up deeper color. The main thing is you have to buff and polish and seal every 3-4 months with gel coat. Paint, you can just hose it off, wash it down, you're good.
Yeah, and run for 5 years.
Exactly. and then maybe after 3 or 4 years, you get it buffed, polished, and resealed, something like that. For the paint, you can do that too. But then fiberglass, carbon fiber, like how carbon fiber parts are becoming a huge thing lately. There's epoxy in it. Like that's the main thing that's holding all of it together. So it's like the possibilities are endless with regards to being like whether you're a level 1, a 2, a 3, you can kind of get into anything. I mean, even Coca-Cola, like the drinks, they have a liner system in it. There is somebody inspecting that.
In the cans.
Yeah. Yeah. So whether it's the cans, canned drinks, or whether it's food or any like the chemical processing plants, anything that has exposure to chemicals, there's coatings involved, some way, shape, or form, and there's someone that's supposed to look at that stuff. And
yeah.
You're literally getting paid to watch paint dry. I joke about it all the time, but that's legitimately what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, or paid to fix it when they don't. I'm working on a tank right now, and they're like, yeah, the liner's been in there for 40 years, and it's leaking. And I'm like, when did it start? We don't know.
Probably 40 years ago.
Probably 40 years ago. Yeah, that one's brutal. It's a condensate return, so it's coming down at 160-ish degrees, condensing sulfuric acid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you so does your Shield Polymers, do you do the painting or do you?
So Shield was actually started to be a manufacturer. That was the original intent. My mentor, so Dan, and the world knows, but we had started that to be a manufacturer and make coatings and make some more specialty stuff. So we do a lot of the high-end Novolac acid-resistant coatings, things like that.
For sure.
His company that he was with got bought, and there was high incentive for him to go with it. And so he left. We still work together all the time. And this is where the change went. I went to distributor mode, which was I might get to the point of making stuff, but right now, I mean, I'd say at a minimum, it's $250,000 per product just to start, which I don't have. So I distribute for him. So he's with Durmar. They're up in Boston. And then I pull some coatings from some different companies. So some high temp stuff, a lot of carbon fiber repairs. So do that. And then the main goal with that was everything sourced would be here in the US. So USA raw materials, USA manufactured, finished goods. And I've had a few people reach out to me from overseas, but really I serve the American markets.
Right.
And mostly just here in the Southeast for now.
Right.
So
cool. Yeah, I was just trying to think if I'm sure that there's some way, shape, or form like I could get you into some of my clients, get your products or whatever going.
Yeah, I mean, we do. There's a big range. So like I focus actually my start with the company has been all abrasion. So pulp mills, coal mining, chutes, hoppers, bark bins, anywhere where it's really abrasive.
Right.
And that's been very successful both from a business perspective and just performance perspective. I mean, I've put some materials in places that I'm like, that'll go, 3 months, and it's been a year that it's still running, and it's at 90% integrity where I'm like, we might get 5 years out of this, which is shocking.
Right.
And then a lot of it switches to all the acid resistant stuff, acid, caustic. It really that covers the two ends of the spectrum. And then just a lot of just general corrosion. So if somebody's like, hey, I want to use paint, okay, that's fine. We can step up for, like I just made a post about UV stability. So if you put in epoxy on the side of a tank, it's great for the acid that spills, but it's going to chalk in the sun. and now you don't have a coating there.
Right.
If you do a urethane, it's great in the sun, but it can't stand up to the acid. So there are UV stable epoxies out there. I have them, other people have them. You know, they're not completely unique, but those are geared towards, all right, cool, now we can protect against acid because it's acid rated, but it's also UV stable, so it's not going to chalk. So you can get 10 years out of something that you used to either have it look good for a year and then it would go away, or it would hold up for 2 years and then it would also just chalk away and you're back to
Right.
square one.
Right. You I'm trying to think, do polysilicones, are they chemical resistant? I feel like some are.
A lot of them, so when you get into the high temp, so the polysiloxanes are really good there. It's a different cure system, so all those are going to be solvent borne. So
Right.
with the exception of the high temps, everything I have is 100% solids.
Gotcha.
Um, so like we don't, I guess technically through Dermar, do I have a urethane top coat? Yes, but we don't, like that's not something that we promote, because we'll go, well, if we're going to do that, we'll do a UV stable epoxy, and then
Right.
that's 100% solids. But everything that we
Right.
have is 100%. I guess now we have vinyl esters, which isn't because you got styrene, but all the epoxy side, it's if I mix a gallon, there's a gallon that goes on and there's a gallon that stays,
Interesting.
which is great, you know, for anybody listening that's like, well, why do I care? When you deal with permeation, when you have solvents, the solvent has to flash out, which leaves holes, pinholes.
Mm-hmm.
Do enough coats, you don't really have any pinholes, but that might be do 3 coats, do 4 coats, do 5 coats. With a solvent system, that could be 20 mils when you're done. I can do 40 mils in a single coat. Still got a spark test to make sure you're good, but I
Right.
just doubled thickness and I don't have any holes because there's nothing curing out. It's curing.
Right.
You could mix it in the bucket, put the lid on, and the whole thing will cure. Now you might
Yeah.
start a fire because
Yeah.
you just mixed a gallon, but you're not getting the same issues that you would with a solvent.
Yeah. No,
But
that makes sense.
yeah, on the flip side, because I don't want to say all solvent systems are bad. They're great for other
They have their
reasons.
place.
One, you can go thin. Two, you can mix an epoxy or formulate an epoxy that cures unbelievably fast, but if there's solvent in there, it won't cure. So you can sit there and mix it and your pot life is almost infinite, but as soon as you spray it, it flashes out and then it cures
Right.
way quicker than what I can do with 100% solids.
Yep. No, for sure. We use a lot of Belzona.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, for
I,
metal
I run
resurfacing and stuff.
I run up against them everywhere. Like they are direct competition, and they're awesome. I have zero bad things to say
Yeah,
about them. They're good.
their products are pretty solid. But there's so many opportunities, just like I said, everywhere in this industry, because it literally involves everything. Like our day to day life involves coatings, one way or another.
More, yeah, more than people realize. I mean, you know, you got house, you got cars, you got lawn chairs, all your industrial stuff. In a weird way, couldn't exist without it because there's some processes that can't run without coatings,
Right.
which means we can't produce. You know, to use Belzona, they've been they've been in the oil and gas space for I forget when they started, 60 years, 70
Give me one.
years.
Give me
Easy bum.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you were good. Had to hit the bathroom.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of stuff exists because they're protected. Like I was saying, like Belzona's been in the oil and gas space. I was talking with a guy from Houston. He's like, I think we've used Belzona for, 40, 50 years over here in some of the refineries and protecting stuff. So a lot of things that people use come because stuff can still run.
Right. Yeah, their cure times and everything, or service cure and service times are great. Just use some of it on a stern tubes, on a 200-foot yacht.
Oh yeah.
Like the big tubes that drive the props. Like it's so cool. All the coating stuff. It really, like, yachts have the internal, like, tanks coatings. Then they have the interior. It's usually just epoxies. But then exterior also epoxy urethane, and then the underside is epoxy barrier primer, usually 10 to 20 mils thick, and then the anti-foulings, which you get into a whole nightmare of, like, if it's copper infused, because copper kills stuff. The strangest thing is that California bans copper anti-fouling. I don't understand how they can control the waters like that, but they do.
Yeah. If I was in Florida, I'd be like, well, that's cool, but I'm gonna stay over here.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so, like, once you get into, well, if you apply a copper anti-fouling and your primer's too thin and you have a steel hull or aluminum, like, you can get this galvanic issue going on, because you also have cathodic protection systems on these boats. They all have anodes, either anodes or they have impressed current systems where it's just flooding the hull with negative electrons, so that even if the paint does get breached, it won't rust. And that's what cathodic protection is. It's like magic, sorcery.
Sorcery. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about having a CP system on there with copper sitting in salt water.
Exactly.
You got everything you need.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you have a ton of boats are all aluminum. Then they love using stainless steel. So they're bolting stainless steel directly to aluminum. And then they're like, this paint job sucks. We're suing the painter. And I'm like, it wasn't the painter's fault, guys. It's the guy, whoever built this boat, didn't use any what's it called? Tef gel. Something to separate an insulator, separate the two metals. That's all that it would have taken. And now there's a $3 million paint repair that has to happen, all because they forgot $300 worth of gasket material. And it, like, that happens on brand new $25 million yachts. That happens on brand new $200, $300 million boats.
They still do it?
Yes.
I figured that'd be problem solved 10 years ago.
No, I'm running into more and more of it now than ever. And I think it's just because the price of things have gone up so much that it's like people just looking for any way to cut costs.
Yeah, if you can cut couple thousand here and there, do it enough times.
Exactly. But it's the Wild West. I'm working with a lot of people, a lot of paint contractors, because I've kind of discovered, like, if I'm too much on the owner's rep side, like the yacht owner's side, the contractors won't work with me. I don't get paid.
Yep.
If I'm too far on the contractor side, the owners don't want to hire me because I'm, I can be bought basically. And it's like I'm trying to run a business where both people are like, we don't want to pay you, but we want perfection. It's like, guys,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a happy medium here.
Just ask them, tell me where that is, and I will do it. I promise.
I've gotten to that point on a few jobs. I'm like, listen, what do you think you're gonna spend on this? And if you like whatever the amount is, I'll tell you what I can give you for it. And I've been trying to go that route. On this one project, the condo down in Miami, I haven't dealt with a project like this yet, which is why I enjoy the cert that I have and the job because I get to see cool stuff. So this luxury, I'm talking high-end luxury condominium, was designed by a famous architect who passed away last year. So the value of the building shot through the roof. Now these condos are worth $35 million a piece. And anybody that lives there has billions. So the entire parking garage and all of the vehicles that go through there are Bentleys, Ferraris, Bugattis, Koenigsegg's. That's all that's going to go through there. Their carport entrance thing that you drive in under the building contains fiberglass panels that were custom made. And it's like this, of course, arty design that runs up the wall on the one side and then across the ceiling. So it's like the whole ceiling and one wall. They used drywall filler and a water-based top coat, which is fine for the interior lobby that these panels run into. It's not okay for the outside. It's still shaded, but it's like salt. I mean, it's right near the water. You have salt, fog, you have like high humidity, high temps, high wind. Naturally, after 3 years, all of the edges started breaking down. And as soon as the edge broke down, moisture gets in there. Now you have it's raining drywall mud and paint chips. The entrance looks like shit. They were supposed to do this project last November, and it has taken us almost a year to finalize details because apparently one of the residents on the 60th floor is having a pool installed, and that took priority.
They're having a pool installed on the 60th floor.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. When you have money, you can just do stuff if you want.
The cantilever pool from, what was that? The Mechanic?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So with this job, I was contacted by the engineer, like the owner's rep and their engineer. They were like, can you help us prove what went wrong here and who's at fault, and then help us repair this because we don't know. This engineer was like, I know nothing about fiberglass. I know nothing about this stuff. He's like, I'm just being honest. This is so outside of our wheelhouse. Then why are you involved? That's my main thought. Then why are you in charge of this? But that's another thing. Anyway, been in discussion. At first, the engineer was like, I hate when they do this. They love to put the inspection contract in with the paint contract. We don't want to add cost to this project, so let's hide your fee in with the cost of the paint job. So it's so I'm going to get paid from the paint contractor that I'm inspecting. that sounds like a great idea. So that's how the engineer wanted to set it up. Past like 8 months or whatever has gone by. And my original like number that I gave, because we were like figuring out what all I was going to like, am I going to be involved in the repair? Am I just getting you guys going? And there were only 3 paint contractors that I trust to even do this. And 2 of them were saying that the only way that they'll come and bid this job is if they get paid to come and give an estimate. And I was like, they're not going to pay. So I have one contractor that's willing to. And I was like, instead of this going to bid, how about you trust in me and this paint contractor that I'm choosing? Like, I know that the 2 of us together, we can give you exactly what you need, and it'll last you 25 plus years. They were like, okay, like, yeah, let's do that. It's $1 million paint project. It's going to take 4 months. And I was like, I think originally I was asking for like 50 grand or something like that. And then I was like, I'm not getting a lot. And we just had a meeting recently where they told me I'm responsible for protecting all the Bugattis and shit. It's going to be my responsibility. So I'm not charging enough. And I went back to them and I said, listen, this is my new offer based on everything that's taken place. I was like, I'm not at all trying to retire off of you guys, as you can see. I was like, I think my first offer was 9%. And that involves that includes me being like involved as needed at 3 a.m, at noon. That's a priority project for me. And they were like, do you think you'd be willing to like knock off a little bit more since we're not going to bid? Sure. Knocked it down to like, I think I knocked off like $7,500 and 83,000 is what I'm going to charge. And to me, that's reasonable. There's an engineer involved that's getting 1 or 2% for he knows nothing about this. So yeah, I was like, I think that's fair and reasonable. I think they're deciding like this weekend, early next week. I should hear back if they're going to accept it. The project is starting, so it's not like if they were to like back out now, they would literally have to like redo the entire process. So it's like one of those. I've gotten like 3 situations like that lately, where it's like they have to pay. Like
there's nothing else they can do.
They're really not in a position to do anything else. But I still run into it, even with these people being billionaires. I will say in most cases, it's actually not even the owner that's doing it. But I run into it a lot where it's like, oh, yeah, the money's on the way. Money's on the way. All right, it's been 2 days. Are you sending it ACH? What are you? Oh, the office. They're getting to it. Like, all right, it's been a week. Where's this money? And I run into that. It's crazy how often that happens. I would say 35-40% of all my work that happens. And
it's
like,
you're trying to get them like, if we're doing this, we gotta get paid.
Exactly. And like I am charging, like I'm on the higher side, but I literally always deliver. Like I always end up saving them 300, 400, 500 grand plus. So it's like for my 4 grand, 5 grand, like I'm saving you 300 times that.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been getting away from hourly billing because that has screwed me, I would say, most of my career.
It also doesn't give you anything for being good at what you do.
Well, I'm very good and very efficient at what I do. So it's like I'm solving $3 million cases for $2,500. And it's like, this isn't working.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if you know you're good, go to a project bid.
Yeah, I'm trying to do value based, where it's like if I save you X amount, I would like, 2% or 10% or whatever, the situation calls for. But I use ChatGPT for even that kind of stuff, like help structure things in a fair way that entices the client to choose me, stuff like that. But I desperately want to build a community. That's what I'm hoping this YouTube channel and TikTok is going to do. I need to film better content. Just trying to figure out what to film and all that. But I want to develop a community for the whole industry, especially for the younger guys, like to get in and have like a network that we can talk to each other, help each other, that kind of thing. What I'm hoping to do is if I can get enough subscribers and enough like action going with the channel, where if it just generates money on its own, like I'll pay for people to get certified. Like I'll pay for like mentorship programs. Like I'll find a way to, use this channel and everything for like real good. Like I've had a small handful of people have actually taken my like advice about going to get certified. One guy in particular, I met him at like a house party one night. It was like 3 a.m. We're all wasted. And like, if I'm not mistaken, he was like the party drug dealer or something. And out of everybody at this party, he was the only one that was like, wait, you do what? You deal with paint? Like it got him like so curious. And me and him just sat there the whole night talking about paint and this and that. I think it was like a couple weeks later, he sent me like a screenshot that he signed up for his NACE level 1. And I was like, no shit. It's like out of all of the people, like this guy, and like he still to this day will send me a letter like every few years, like, thank you so much. Like, I mean, he's driving a big lifted truck, bought a house, has a wife, kid now. Like, it was crazy to watch his life go from that, like, to what it is now, all because of that 5-day, like, stupid certification. It's not stupid, but it's like, there's things out there that
change so much with that.
Exactly, dude. It can open up so many doors, and even if you don't stay in it, I don't think he stayed in coatings. I think it got him into construction in general, and I think he's doing like the big Pittsburgh airport. He's like heavily involved in big construction project up there. It just because he got into coatings though, it opened up the door, and that cert helped him get into other certifications that that he was able to get, and it can literally change your life fast, in my opinion, faster than any other thing out there, like other than winning the lottery or something like that. But like as far as like actually going and doing something, I think that has the highest, quickest like return of rate, return of return on investment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can get in so fast. Have you looked at you mentioned, community. Have you looked at school.com?
No, what's that?
Look up school.com, but Alex Hormozy, so he's big in business. If you find him on YouTube.
Yeah, I know he is.
But he has school.com, and it's all based around building communities, paid or free. Doesn't like you can do with it what you want. But it's a place where you can put learning modules in there and support, whatever. I've seen people have stuff for starting businesses online. I've seen stuff for getting into tech sales. I mean, everything you can imagine, but it's a good like landing spot. They already have all the infrastructure there, and you're just like, all right, cool. This is going to be, coatings education 101 or inspection, whatever you want.
That's great. That's great. I'm definitely going to check that out because the one thing I started doing this year, and it picked up traction, but then it like, I don't know if everybody got busy. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but I started a certification program myself because I tried to do it through AMP. I was like, I need help. There's no one in this industry that is like, there's no standards, there's nothing. Like, I need help. They're too busy with the merger and everything. So I was like, I felt like I needed to have somebody back me for me to do it until I was like, screw it. I was like, I don't need someone to back me. I have a level 3. So I advertised, I was like, I'm offering like a 10 or 12 hour class and I'll give you a certificate. Like, there's a test at the end. You know, if you pass, you qualify as a, yacht refinisher quality control inspector. And it's basically just me teaching the paint contractor how to do their quality control and like how to protect themselves, how to do documentation, how to do what tests, when to do them. And I run them through like all of the stuff that's available, basically. The standard, go over that, how to do the test. And the way that I was setting it up was the hardest thing for these contractors is to like lose their high performing skilled guys. Like, it's hard to get the skilled guys to go do an education thing outside of making the money. So that was like the big hurdle of like, so how do I get 5 people from one company to come to a class? So I offered this paint contractor, I was like, if you sign up for the class, it's like $1,500 per person. And whether we do it an hour here, an hour there, or 2 hours or 3 hours, it's 10 to 12 hours total. It can be in the, 5 a.m. in the morning, we can meet, or if you want to do 5 p.m., whatever time, whatever day. So it took us like 3 or 4 weeks. 2 hours here, 2 hours there, 2 hours, 2 hours. But we got through it. And they didn't lose time. It didn't like add a crazy amount of stress to their schedule or whatever. And, was able to get 3 guys certified. Printed out certifications. I'm like, now you can, when you bid projects, say that you're Revay certified as a contractor. And trying to just, as people see the name more often, Revay Superyacht. If there's Revay involved, there's high quality, period. Like, that's what I'm trying to, for the
there was
Superyacht stuff.
already vetting
Exactly.
done there and training.
So that went really well. I think I had 8 contractors from Turkey, the Netherlands, Greece. There was 2 other places, 2 other countries. All of them reached out. Like, we want to take your class. We want to take your class. I'm like, fuck, I'm not set up to do like Europe or anything. I was like, I wasn't even set up. So the first contractor, when I made the post, like, I have the certification course for these contractors, I didn't. I wanted to. I was gonna start putting one together. I had a contractor like that day. He was like, "Can we start tomorrow?" It's like, "Of course we can start tomorrow." It's like, shit. Like, I have to hurry up and put this class together now. So I was like building the class while we were doing it, and it worked out perfect. Like, little mistakes that, I was able to hash out so much stuff by doing the class that way that it actually, like, it was a pretty solid class. And the one of the painters that took it from the guy, he approached me a few weeks ago, and he's like, I can't thank you enough for that certification. He's like, I learned so much from that short class. He's like, it made me, like, his work quality improved because he has a better understanding of what he's doing. So it was like really cool to see like an actual visible like improvement just from this class that, like, I not half-assed, but like threw together pretty fast using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And there's so much potential for all of that. like I need to figure out how to convert that class into something that can be downloaded, watched, and walked through instead of me actively teaching it. And then I'm able to lower the price on it, make it more affordable. But that's what I really want to do is like $500-600, 700 maybe for this like in-depth QC class. As long as they have the right equipment, they could go through it. And then I would try to set up a way where I can do like an online test or something. Have them do the test online. If they pass, they get the certificate in the mail or an email. But between certificates and then writing industry standards, I've created like a document that they can like a yacht owner can take to his painter or painters and say, I want my boat painted to this. And if the paint contractor actually knows what the hell they're doing, they should be able to look at that and say, okay, like I know exactly what this would look like, and are able to, reproduce it. But it's
Yeah,
complicated.
you're saying some sort of specification that you've already outlined. This is
So,
the 10 step that we do.
oh, give me 1 second, brother.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Are you good?
I don't even remember where we left off.
Specification.
So there is like the paint manufacturers, they provide usually a paint spec, but it's like what products are getting applied, how are they being applied, like it's more performance based, nothing about the finish quality, the like appearance, nothing. The problem is everyone's like, oh, we have a paint spec, so we're good. And it's like you're good on the performance side, you're not good on like what the expected finish quality is. And so I produce that as a basically there's two documents that get two specs for these yachts, one for performance, one for the visual quality. And like doing my best to specify what the owner's expecting and putting that into like measurable terms. Because like I want it to look nice. It's like, well, what does that mean? Like how much orange peel can it have? Like, and I mean it really gets like muddy, if you will, just on like the little details, because that's, I mean, there are things that like I get it, because it's like if that was my boat and there was like some, like once you start noticing things, like they'll bother the hell out of you. So, but it's like you have to figure out like what's reasonable and what's like ridiculous over the top. Like we don't need to repaint this whole thing because of one spec, but where is that spec? Is it like super noticeable where everybody can clearly see it, or is it like, you know, only you see it because you have OCD?
Yeah.
And it's like it gets complicated because you have to like get a feel for the owner. Some owners, their vision isn't even good. They're like, this looks fantastic, and I'm like, oh, okay, if you're happy with it.
Yeah, it'll do the job, but it ain't pretty.
Well, some of them, like, they don't even, like, some people, their vision isn't good. They can't see orange peel. They can't see the flaws. Like, so from their perspective, it's a great application. So it's like, who am I to tell them that, like, no, that's not good? Like, if that's what they're happy with and the price was like reasonable, I just try to get everybody happy as much as they can be. But it's interesting. I absolutely love this industry. I love everything about it. I love the fact that I didn't have to go to college. It's like my favorite thing, that it removed all the, it removed all the like bullshit. Like I don't want to learn poetry. I don't want to learn like I want to learn paint. I want to learn like what I'm going to actually use. And I feel like, especially like with, I think after COVID, like they realized the setup that the people had, where it's like everyone has to go to work at one place. Like once they realized, like with technology, we don't really need that anymore. Like we can change the way that things are set up. I think it's been like we're experiencing some growing pains, I guess. It's like as technology keeps getting introduced, we're constantly like moving and adjusting. Yeah.
Change what we're doing. And you're always going to have some people that abuse it. Oh yeah, I work from home, and they don't work.
Exactly. But like I was the type, like I couldn't go to this, I can't do repetitive. Like in a weird way I can, but if it's like the exact same place, same repetitive schedule, I'm not good with that. I like excitement, you know, changing things up. That's what I love about this. It's a healthy mixture of like physically getting out there doing stuff without being the one to like do the back breaking stuff and, you know, beat up my body. It's just, it's using a mixture of, you know, physical and mind. It's a mixture of like blue collar and white collar, because white collar, I'll sit there on the computer for half the day. And then the other blue collars, I'm climbing into a sewer. Or, you know, like it all depends.
Now, how much do you travel? Because I know, you know, it could be a lot.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what you do or want to do.
Most of my travel lately, no, most of my travel actually the whole time, past 8 years anyway, since I started my company, it's been, I'll probably have anywhere from 5 to 10, 5 to 15 business trips each year. So I'll go to Rhode Island, South Carolina, Georgia, California, Seattle, went to St. Martin. I have 3 boats that I'm supposed to do this fall. One of them starting next month over in Ensenada, Mexico. For that one, I'm going to have 7 trips 9 days total. So it'll be like I'll fly there for a day, fly back. Then maybe a week later, I'll fly there for 2 days, fly back. Maybe a week later, another day, until the project's done. I just did one up in like near Tampa. It's like a few hour drive. But if it's like Florida, I try to drive. If it's outside of Florida, I'll fly for the most part. Yeah, traveling.
Yeah, because you're way down there, so you're 8 hours just to get out of Florida.
Yeah, it's 6, like exactly. It's crazy. But yeah, Key West. I'm 4 hours from like the very bottom of Key West and 6 hours from the top of Florida.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the nice thing though is I have Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm airports all within 50 minutes of a drive. So it's like 3 different airports to leave from.
Yeah,
Definitely
so you can
help.
get anywhere you want pretty
Yeah.
easy.
Yep. I'm hoping one day, like if the company grows enough, I can afford a private plane because I would love. I cannot stand flying commercial. I had American Airlines destroy $15,000 of equipment and then tell me in the small print they're not responsible for it, and I was out 15 grand.
Oh,
I didn't even get like a flight voucher. I got nothing. They were literally like, we're not giving you a thing.
yeah.
And I was furious because I had it in. I carry all my gear in protective padded cases. When I opened the case, everything like it, they opened it and just dumped everything out. And it's like it's very sensitive equipment that like you can't do that shit. Dumped everything out. It shattered my most expensive gloss meter, the thing I needed while I was. The whole reason I flew up there was to use that, and they destroyed it. Ever since then, I don't check. I've never checked a bag ever since, and refused to. And now, when TSA wants to look at my stuff, I'll sit there and open it. They can look at it in front of me. It's not leaving my sight.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't trust them after that either.
No.
Be like zero chance.
Yeah. Now I have like zero patience with them. And I honestly am going to start charging extra if I have to fly commercial just to deal with them. I can't. That's like the one thing that makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
Like vaporizes my blood is some $15 an hour joke of a job that is total. They took my Leatherman. I work in construction field. I have to have like a knife, or I have to have something like that. Well, when I'm flying, you can't have a knife, sir. So they took my Leatherman, but left my razor knife. It was right next to it. And I'm like, you guys are the biggest waste, because all they do is it causes us to have to spend $10 for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that is the entire reason for all of it. It's just the money. They used a bad event to justify a money grab that's been going on ever since.
So 2 years ago, fiance and I had flown down to Tampa. And I take my gun with me everywhere. If I'm going to the plants, I leave it at home, but it goes with me everywhere. Pack the gun, fly down, no problem. Pack it same way to fly back up to Ohio. So hard case, lock through the gun, lock it, we're good. Declared at the airport, hey, this is here. She opens it up. Oh, sorry, you don't put the lock through the gun, you put it on the case. Mind you, it's a flimsy plastic case.
Right.
And I was like, well, you can just break open the case and then get the gun. So I put the lock through the gun because then you can't cut the lock. And
Right.
she's like, sorry, sir, you got to put it through there. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So mind you, I'm standing in a bag check-in line with a gun, pull the lock, put it through the case. Cool, we're good to go. Take it over to TSA pre-check. Oh, we can open the other side of your case because it was a double latch, and now peel this open. So I was like, what do you want me to do? They're like, well, you can't ship it like that. I was like, I'll put it back through the gun and we'll be good to go. No, you can't because then somebody can get into the case. I was like, yeah, but they can't shoot the gun. So I happen to have a spare lock for my gym bag on there, locked the other side, and like, that'll work. And I was like, you guys are so stupid.
That's what
This
I mean.
is unreal.
Like that the TSA needs to be completely erased from existence. They do. If I'm not mistaken, their success rate is like 7%.
Oh yeah, they send what was it? They send undercovers through, and they get through
A ridiculous amount of times.
like 9 out of 10 times they get through.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten through with stuff on accident that I'm like, I can't believe that I made it. Like, what? But then they'll ding me. What was the one thing? Actually, I think it's my I'll show you. That. I was like, it's for fucking cutting paint. I was like, and meanwhile, I have a razor knife that can make it through. I was like, you guys suck. I was like, you guys just make everybody's life harder. I don't like traveling. Like, I hate the airport. I don't like that, like, structured forms. Like, I don't know. It's something with my ADD and the way airports operate.
For me, it's compliance. Not a fan.
I think that's it. I have that what is it? The defiance disorder. There's some type of thing, like a disorder for authority, where it's like if you're
I didn't know. Well, I wouldn't call it a disorder. I'd call it just
yeah, exactly.
I don't even know the words I want to use.
I don't either, but I feel like we're speaking the same thing. But yeah, I like freedom way too much, and I feel like all of it's like a big overreach. I don't know. And then, like, even on the plane, sir, your bag needs to be further under the seat, or you have to, sir, you can't be reclining. And it's like, this is the recline difference. Like, get the fuck away from me. I don't even want to be in this stupid tube.
My fiance, she goes nuts. She's just like, honey, if we going down, we're done. My bag ain't gonna fix shit.
Exactly.
She's hilarious.
I like that's the stuff. It's like common sense is evaporating. It feels like
people keep saying it. Take the warning labels off. We'll solve this shit real fast.
Agreed. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out that school thing. I think building a community is gonna be the best route to go. I feel like it could open up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and that's like my main goal. It changed my life for the better, and I guarantee it could do the same for a ton of other people.
Let me see if I can share this here. Where's my share button? There we go. I didn't make a community, but I have an account. But this is basically it. So you can, if you want to call this the community here. So you have a homepage, classroom, so you can add as many courses as you want. Calendar, if you do any live events.
Right.
And then you can actually set leaderboards for people within your community. So say
cool.
you took your, like you mentioned, that QC module.
Yeah.
If you broke that up into whatever 20 units, you can
Right.
you can take that and actually track people going through it, score them on actually doing the work and whatnot. But
Right. Right.
it's cool. It's
Yeah.
nice.
This looks cool. I'm definitely
And
gonna check
then
this out.
for you, if you want it free, I think you can just do it. If you wanted to charge people, there are different ways for you to do it as well. Because I'm
Yeah.
a big fan. I love free, but you often won't get people to buy in. So if it's
Right.
like there is some barrier to entry, it can all run through this.
For sure. I think what I'll do is probably set up like some free content to like show what is actually in it, and then like set paywalls behind like the real deep stuff, probably.
Oh, here you go. So level unlock, buy now, so you can buy those courses.
That's cool.
Like I said, I haven't I have been in it in other communities, but I've never set one up. But
Yeah, this is cool. I'm definitely gonna play around with this. But yeah, man, if I'm gonna try to get to the AMP conference. They have like their big conference every year. I haven't gone in years, and I should be. Um,
what do they have
it,
left on 2025?
I don't even know.
Let's see here. Malaysia. So it looks like next one's Houston in March.
Yeah. Yeah, part of me really wants to kind of want someone from AMP to send me the like course, because I'm really interested to see now that NACE is called AMP, like how are they or I feel like they should fucking get rid of for the standards. There's SSPC and NACE standards that are doing the same thing but are numbered different.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to me that they still use those numbers. If anything, just remove NACE, put AMPP in front of it, and
Right,
drop
right.
the SSPC.
Exactly, exactly. I don't know why they haven't done that. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some complexity that we don't see, because I've never built a network like this. It's pretty massive, especially merging something like that. Because SSPC was designed more for contractors. NACE was designed more for inspectors and consultants.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, SSPC was very big with, like, they came out with QP1, QP2, like these certifications for companies to get, whether a contractor or an inspection company. There's QP1 and QP2 for contractors. QP5 is for inspectors, inspection companies. There's like 14 companies in the world that have QP5 because it's a huge audit on your reporting process. They edit or audit how you document and store and process the data and convert it into reports. And like there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like I think even safety goes into it, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really difficult to get the QP5 cert. I'm hoping that if I can grow this company, like I want to become the biggest inspection consulting company, like for high end, like major scale paint projects, and complexities, like complex failures and stuff like that. But I want us to basically be like the, Bugatti of inspection companies. We're the most expensive, but have the
But
best.
when you need the best.
When you need to solve the problem, like, you can contact us and we'll solve it. That's what I'm looking for. I want all the guys to make, more money than anywhere else that they could ever make.
Yep. I'm a big fan of that. Is, hey, I'm not holding this back just for me. We're all going to make money.
Yep. And like, that's been my struggle, is there's not a lot of us level 3s out there, especially. So, and for me to grow this company, I feel like I need another level 3 or a level 2 at least. Somebody that's willing to, like, jump on board and put full effort, and I can guarantee within a year, together would make more money than ever. Because I can generate anywhere from like 350 to upwards of 600,000 a year by myself. And that's not full time. That's not 40 hours. That's like 4 days, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
If the projects and everything lines up. So it's like, if I can just keep adding more, like the reputation that I've built for myself so far, a lot of the clients, a lot of the shipyards that I deal with trust me enough that if I put someone there, they know that, like, if I trust that person, then they trust that person's good enough.
Yeah.
So I have, plenty of opportunities for people to, like, literally get in with a shipyard and stay with that shipyard. Trying to set something up like that, because I enjoy handling all of the stuff. I like yachts, private jets. I really want to get into rockets and doing stuff in space. But I mean, I want to go for all of it. I want to compete for all of it. I feel like if
you got SpaceX right there.
Yeah, exactly. True coding experts could do it all, in my opinion. So that's what I want to build. And like, eventually I want a lab for doing like real lab tests and even developing stuff. I think it'd be really cool. Because during COVID, I actually I built a homemade laser, and like converting a tattoo laser removal gun into a class 4 weapons grade laser using parts from China. And it's funny, a big wooden crate showed up on my front porch, and it's like, massaging tool. It's like, sure, that's what this is.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Yeah. And but yeah, it's amazing. Like, in my opinion, laser removal is the future, and it's going to come in the next few years. It's already started, but like, I got my laser working, but not to a full production level. And I actually seen that the patent for it was available. The original patent was filed like 1992 or something like that, and it expired in 2002. And it was some university in California, and then the U.S. Department of Energy had the patent for laser paint removal. And you can see like their diagrams and everything. It's all old stuff, so it was super easy to just take that, convert it, like all new technologies, add that stuff in, and I had a completely different blueprint. I was about to purchase the patent. Then I seen that there were several states that were already had programs running, testing laser paint removal for bridges. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is getting a 1,000 square feet per 8 hours or something like that. I can't remember, or if it was 1,000 square feet per hour or per day of blasting. It has to be as like effective or more than abrasive, which is what we all currently use. It's either that or water jetting. Those are our only two. Throwing water at something really high speed or throwing something hard at the surface really high speed. Those are our two options. And they're both messy as hell. like you spend more on the containment and cleanup than you do on anything else. So laser removal would remove the need for vacuums and all that stuff. You can literally vaporize the paint and then filter it out with air.
Well, and not to mention a pitfall, especially in industry, is for small repairs. What do you do?
Right.
You're not going to set up a blast pot for 100 square feet.
Right. And like that's where it's like that's why I know this laser thing is the way to go. The whole thing is they're out now and they work great for cleaning. They can't etch. They're not able to get good surface profile. And my opinion is like you have so much control with laser removal. Like you can literally remove the eggshell of an egg and leave the soft embryo unharmed.
Really?
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like what all goes in, like the science and chemistry behind it. It's insane. So it's like the laser cannot hurt human flesh somehow. As soon as it hits that paint, it vaporizes it. It's like, what?
I didn't know. I thought it was kind of a destroy all insight.
It's super cool. And like, that's what I used to think too, that like, that's what the laser beam would just be, this like super powerful thing, but it's all in
Death Star.
right. It's all in like just regulating voltage and amperage and stuff. So if you're able to, in my opinion, if you're able to get AI software to come up with a pattern that the laser comes in at different angles and for different periods of time, you're able to remove like metal slightly and etch like an anchor pattern, you know, etching that surface profile. But it's all like that affects the speed of it and the like production rate and all that. But I believe that that's where we're going. Laser paint removal. It's insanely fast and it doesn't heat the surface up. It's so cool. Like my mind's blown with it completely.
Yeah.
I love the stuff. And I know that we could use it on yachts. I know we can literally on everything. It'd be perfect because you're able to like, it's so much cleaner. It doesn't leave this crazy dust and shit everywhere. It's just the paint's gone.
Yeah, I'd love it too, especially like some of the stuff I do. I might do a 2 square foot repair. It's like, okay, well, we can grind, which is clean, but then no profile.
Right.
You can use, I'm sure you're familiar with Bristle Blaster, but that's not terribly good.
Yeah, it's not that. It's a mediocre profile, and
yeah,
the only thing that I've seen in regards to using grinders is using like a 36 grit sanding disc, get the surface clean, and then switch to the 36 grit disc, and you basically bounce the sandpaper off the steel. Like you just keep bouncing it, and it cuts like nasty divots and stuff into it, but it's something to bite into.
Yeah, I remember I would almost run it like a grind wheel, and I would run slits into stuff just to be able to get some bite.
Yep. What else? There's
which, by the way, our repairs are not pretty. They're like, we need to be running in an hour, and I'm like, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want it done right? Do you want it done fast? Or do you want it, what is it? Right, fast?
Cheap.
Cheap, yep.
Yep.
But yeah, and I'm really excited. I'm hoping that I'm hoping we can actually build a great community. Now I'm happy to do, you know, joint stuff too, if you want to create something. And if there's ever any events or anything that you guys need a speaker or anything like that, I'm always down for talking about this stuff. So
yeah, I do want to put something on for like so I don't go south of 10. So Florida, Georgia, Alabama, something in this area just to get people together, because there's a ton in Houston and Louisiana, but there's not near as much over this way.
for sure.
So I don't even know where to start, but I want something for this neck of the woods.
Yep. Dude, you should definitely check into AMP. Even if you don't get certified right away, if you become a member, I don't even know what you would be a part of, to be honest, because there's South Florida, like we have a South Florida AMP chapter, then there's Central Florida, like near Orlando. I don't know if there's like a North Florida chapter. I don't think so. I think it's just Central and South. But they do like events regularly. Stephanie Decker is the chairman, I think, for that chapter.
Stephanie, she's with Tinker and Razor, isn't she?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to look because I know, honestly, because like I said, I don't go south of 10. I really don't do anything in Florida.
Right.
I live here, but I'm 20 miles to Georgia, so I do everything Georgia and Alabama.
I mean, I do some work up in Savannah pretty often. Well, not super often, but occasionally. I'll have to see. I'm gonna see what I'll put you in touch with the right person from AMP for your area. I'll figure out who that is and put you in touch with them. And that way, because like the chapters we hold events from time to time, like whether it's a tour of, a wastewater plant, or we'll meet at like a brewery and we'll have like a little presentation from someone, or it's just, technical stuff. So yeah, I'll put you in touch with that person, and then yeah, we just stay in touch.
Yeah.
See if there's any opportunities that come up, and I'm sure we can find some cool stuff to do together.
Oh yeah. Well, we can definitely do. You talked about videos. We can definitely do, because I'm always looking for ideas. So
yeah,
whether it's, do a whole start to finish, hey, prep surface, put material down, here's what we're looking for.
right.
We can do that. And I would love to be in South Florida. So I will come down.
Awesome. I'm wondering if I can get you onto some projects down here. Probably. I don't see why not. But yeah, we'll stay in touch. Like I said, I appreciate you, reaching out and setting this up.
Yeah. No, this was your idea. It was good, because I'm like, I run out of stuff to talk about, and you talk about the same thing over and over. So it's nice to
definitely
to get another person on.
Yeah, but I like legit want to build also like a small group of like creators for this industry. Yeah. There's nothing. There's no content. Like KTA has like a few instructional videos from 14 years ago, and like that's all that's available.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just started like really making stuff back in April. I know I've seen your stuff. I've seen Jim's, Kunkel's, all his.
Yeah, Jim's been on it for a while.
Trying to think. There's Drayton. I just started seeing some of his stuff. Adkins.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
Yeah, there's not like. So my view is that means there's a huge opportunity for whoever is the first few people to just buckle down and put effort in. And I honestly just started putting real effort in about a month and a half ago. Like literally, I've had the channel for like a year and a half or so, but just a few weeks ago I started posting heavy and like really pushed effort with it. I think it's gonna grow. I'm just trying to think of like viral, funny, catchy ideas. I'm trying to grab the younger people's attention and make this stuff cool.
Yeah.
Without coming across like a douchebag. And yeah,
you know what we could do when we do one of the videos? We'll prep it and we'll shoot it. We'll get some guns and we'll shoot them.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Put some tests and be like, we don't know if this is gonna work.
I'm down. I think
this is what it'll do.
I agree. We could set up a gun shooting paint, testing paint films with guns or something.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
see
well,
show the
put some
difference.
budget. Yeah, because I mean, I got some stuff that I can build. Shit, the beaded stuff, I'll do an inch in a single pass. Now that's all heavy wear, but it's got ceramic, it's got Kevlar in it.
Yeah.
So,
And then we compare it to a yacht paint. I'll build the hell out of it and see
yeah.
how much fairing compound it takes to stop a bullet. I can guarantee those videos would be a hit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's just you see what was it like they're catching cars with duct tape? How many
Yeah.
strips of duct tape before you catch a car?
Yep.
I think they
Yeah.
totaled. Was it a Camry or a Corolla or something? They totaled one. And
Yeah.
it was like 10,000 strips of duct tape, and it just it broke the windshield, all sorts of shit.
I love that kind of stuff. It's just so random and almost pointless, but it's like curiosity gets the best of us.
Oh yeah, there was a guy who was doing he was trying to do pull-ups, and he was doing it with uncooked spaghetti noodles. He's like, how many noodles does it take to hold me? He got to an answer. I don't remember what it was, but he had like this massive bundle of
That's
uncooked
awesome.
spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, I have a few ideas, like the paint father one. I want to do some more with that, like wearing the fake priest thing and blessing paint jobs. The other one I was thinking of is like literally watching paint dry and just like make it dramatic as hell and just have me like staring at a painted surface.
Oh yeah. Do that, overlay a time lapse on it over 10 hours.
And then show how much I get paid to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that'll get people in, and there ain't no hiding money
Right.
at this point. You know what I mean? Because everybody's like, don't talk about what you make. Well, gotta get them in.
I've always hated that. To me, that was always like a way to keep people, like, to be able to pay people less. If no one's talking about it, you don't know what the hell you're supposed to be making. So it's like, that's all I heard anytime I heard that. And I'm like, anytime I talk about money, it's not in a bragging way. It's like I can't believe that you can make this kind of money with this like career.
Yeah.
I mean, literally making as much as a doctor, and I get to just play outside on boats.
Yeah. You're like, I ain't in there. Nobody's life's on the line. No, I mean, I think personally, I think talking about it is good, because also for me, when I see people ahead of me talking about it, I'm like, okay, cool. That's what it takes to get there, because that's where I want to go. And same with underneath, because rather than like hiding it and just like come to this industry and you get shit on, like you make 200, 300, 400 grand in the industry. So if you want to, get over here.
Yep.
And more, like, you know, there isn't a limit to that, but just, you know, it would not be unreasonable to be able to get there.
Cathodic protection, that certificate, I didn't even get into this. So the CIP level 1, 2, and 3, CIP 1, level 1 inspector, depending on what state, depending on what, like, are you doing nuclear power plants, or are you doing like just an overpass in some small town? It could be $30 an hour. It could be $60 an hour. Level 2, 35, 40 an hour. Upwards of 70, maybe, depending on the state. And then level 3, it's like, I mean, 50, 60 an hour at least. And then it all depends. Like, if you're working for someone, or if you're, you know, are you the principal consultant? Are you, like, there's so many different areas that it all plays factors into it. But it's, from what I've seen and heard, it's like any consultants that are employed basically have to generate 1.5 times whatever their salary is. So it's like, if they want, you know, 100 grand salary, they have to make, I think it's like 150 or 200 or whatever the math was on it. There's a certain percentage you have to bring in for you to get that, basically. And I mean, like I said, I don't think that there's too many certificates or careers out there that require just a 5-day class and you can make $100,000, pretty quickly.
Yeah, and be rubbing elbows with people that can get you to the next step.
Yeah.
Who also only took the class, so they're not like, you don't have a degree. They're like, started where you were. Here's where I'm at.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just like this. It's a secret, like, cheat code for a better life, I guess.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping we can get like the right people, get to the right audience. I don't know. My big thing is like I love seeing people's lives get better. Whether it's like from something I said or did or like whatever. Just really enjoy seeing, like, I don't know what's
helping
that, like,
them have more freedom.
Yeah, because life can be rough, though. Yeah, like really rough. So yeah, anytime. I think the mentor thing is going to be huge. I really hope so. Anyway, I've always wanted. So my mentor Kirk Shields passed away in 21, and I was still so bummed about it. He's a tough bastard. Guy had like quadruple bypass surgery, and then like the next year had to have like brain surgery.
Oh my God.
Was still like sarcastic, was still like busting my balls. Like, it was just such a great guy. And it was like when I first got down to Florida, it was like a few weeks later, he was in the hospital, and like I was going to the hospital, like grabbing his notes, his photos, and like I was helping cover his work while he was down. And I think because of that like brought us closer than, ever before. It was always like we only spoke about work before, but then like I'm helping him at the hospital, and it's like we became real close after that. But I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, like, period.
Mhm.
He could have easily like just put me, like, he could have set it up in a way where he made a ton of money off of me very easily. And he didn't do that at all. It was like there wasn't a single greedy bone in his body. It was just solely like me and him were like somewhat polar opposites. Like, I'm heavily tattooed and stuff. He's very straight-laced, like dry humor. Like, but me and him got along like better than most people. Like, we just complimented each other super well. And he would put me on like crazy projects. I'm like, I've never done this before. He's like, yeah, you didn't do a skyscraper before, and then you did. He's like, this is no different. So because of him, though, just throwing me like, oh, this is wastewater. You never did this before, but here, don't let anybody know that you don't know what the hell you're doing.
And you handle it.
Yeah, just learn as you go. And, obviously the whole thing, this is like what I want to teach inspectors is like, shut up. Don't talk too much. Give just enough information. When you talk too much, that's when you fuck things up and you make mistakes. Talk less, just stick to the basics, and things will go well. Because I've seen too many inspectors that just, the ones that fail their level 3 peer review they fail because they talk too much. 100%.
Trying to be smart, sound smart.
Exactly. Like they instead of just being themselves and like actually addressing the situation like they really would handle it, they try to like, what do the peers want to hear? And like it you can read that like unauthentic. Like, it's really easy to see that. And I'll see guys, they'll fail 2, 3, 4 times going for their level 3. and it's all, they just talk too much.
Yep.
The advice I was given before I went was don't talk too much. Answer exactly what they ask. If they want more, they'll ask. Don't, because they will do it on purpose. They'll give like extended pauses to make it awkward, to see like how you handle like difficult situations. Because when you're on a project that you're trying to shut it down, or that you may be wanting to shut the project down, is it really justified? Like, what is your logic behind stopping that project? And to me, that's like, because level 3s have that ability to shut projects down. If you're shutting a project down, there better be a very, very good reason for it, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you're just messing with people's livelihoods and, the progress.
Yeah, so they want to make sure, one, you know what you're doing, and two, if you have to, you can stand by it.
Exactly. Because it's one thing, it's all based on personality from what I've seen. Like, the knowledge is one thing. You obviously have to have that knowledge, but it's also like, how do you handle situations? Like, one of the questions that I was asked during my level 3, if you're on a bridge painting project, that it's allowed to operate 6 days a week. You drive past on a Sunday and see 3 guys doing work. What do you do? And it's like, oh, I'm going to go in there and shut them down. It's like, well, what were they doing? Were they cleaning up around was their boss keeping them busy? Giving them some cleanup work around the job site? Or were they mixing paint, doing sneaky stuff? Like, you have to be the one to like really determine the difference. And like, are you really going to mess with the 3 workers that are doing like housekeeping to make a couple extra bucks or whatever? Like, are you really going to be that kind of guy? Or are you the type that wants to get the project done right? That's the main thing. Are you going to be the type that fucks with projects and, make yourself sound important? Or are you going to actually do what is right? And I think that's what like separates the level 3 people from not.
I never thought about that. Yeah, showing up. Well, I'm a level 3, so I'm here to be important. Be like, no, you're here to get it done.
Exactly. And there are some bad ones out there, unfortunately. Nace did get in trouble early 90s, I think. I think it was like 94. I think it was Sherwin-Williams too. Sherwin-Williams and Nace got busted. Sherwin-Williams was just buying certifications, like mass. Like, hey, we'll pay for 75 people. And instead of like actually doing the class and having those people pass, they're just, here's the certs. And it was an awful, awful thing that like, and what sucks is those people are still out there. Like, still, and there's not a ton of them, but there's enough to be concerned because you never know. And, but yeah, like that was a big issue. So like, kind of combating that, because as soon as a client gets like a really bad inspector, it's difficult to get that like taste out of their mouth. They're always on edge. They're always like, they don't trust you. They don't. And the biggest thing is just showing them, like, being able to show proof of like of value. Like, hey, without us here, things go bad really fast, and you don't even know until it's too late.
Yeah.
Because like with that condo collapse in Miami a few years back down at Surfside, like NACE or AMP is the one investigating it because it was corrosion. It was corroded rebar.
I forgot about that.
What's messed up is, for some reason in Miami, or I don't know if it's South Florida, or I don't know if it's like a regulation thing, some of these condos were built and they didn't have to be inspected for 40 years. Like that was like their agreement. And it's like, who the fuck signed off on this? Like, why? And it's all like everybody that was involved is already dead now. So it's like there's no one to like actually sue. So it's like, how can we prevent this going forward? Because this is really fucked up.
Yeah, there's no yeah, what are you gonna do? Dig up a dead body and then
Yeah, and
then
there's
rebury
literally
him?
there's no one to hold accountable for people like getting hurt or dying or losing their home. It's pretty messed up. And I noticed it with like yachts, like brand new yachts are being sent over fucked up. And I'm like, these are people spending 200-300 million. Like, what about people that are spending just 200-300 grand on a house? That home inspections are a thing. And I'm seeing like the new construction homes these days are dog shit. Like
Oh yeah.
every corner's cut. Like $1 million homes look like shit. And it's just like, I don't know. Quality control is such a big thing. And the other thing with reports, I've hated ever since I started. I hated the way that we've documented things. I've hated it. Like this isn't. No one's reading it first off because no one wants to. None of this makes any sense. If you don't understand it and can see it, all of this is just data and numbers. So I want the route of, and I've used it on several cases and it worked really well. Now that AI is a thing, I need to retry it, but using a 360 camera. So what I'll do is anytime I do an inspection, I would use the 360 camera and literally take 50 to 100 photos of either the boat. And what I'm able to do is take all those photos, throw them into a software that stitches it together like it's augmented reality or virtual reality. You can basically do Google Maps on the project, and you can walk around, you can look like you were with me, and then in the 3D world, I'm able to drop like non-conformance little things you can click on. It shows it'll pop up with a close-up photo of whatever the issue, orange peel, cracks, corrosion, whatever. And it's basically like a live report. Like you can take the client or whoever's looking at it to whatever I was looking at, show them exactly where everything was. They were like, this is the coolest thing it's like a report with no words. It's all visual.
Which is what everybody wants anyways.
Exactly. Because no one likes reading. I used to put like 20, 30 hours into some of these reports, making them meaty as could be. And I would have people like, hey, we just need this sentence. like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, we just need this. Like, yeah, this is good. Gotcha. That's what you want. All right. Fuck me.
Yeah. Damn it.
And then I, submit those kind of reports. And then I get the client that's like, this isn't, I thought I was going to get more than this. Like, for fuck's sake. Like, no one's ever happy. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. You've taken the time to set this up with me today.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate the idea. It's been good.
Yeah,
we need to do it more. Dive into some.
I would love to get like a monthly thing going where we can I don't know, provide updates on something on the industry.
Yeah, I mean we could do that. We could do. I mean, I love a good case history too. So bring one. Hey, here's, even if it's not anything good or bad. Just this is what I'm working on. This is what we do.
Yeah, I like it. I think we can make some cool content. Plus, I feel like it's always good to have two people in the industry. Just kind of helps. I don't know. I don't know if it's helps with vetting or something, but people seem to.
It's that and
more.
And depending on how people see it, it's opposing forces. I make it, you inspect it, so you're getting two perspectives on it as well, which is nice.
For sure. Cool, man. Well, yeah, let's definitely keep in touch. And yeah, like I said, if any opportunities or ideas come up, I'm happy to share ideas as well.
Yeah, let's do that. September's already fucked. So, but maybe we can do another session towards the end of September, and then October if we can
Yeah,
make it.
yeah, that sounds
Maybe
good because my
get
September's
down
going to
there.
be a shit show. Because I got the condo in Miami, uh, the Disney one up in Orlando. I have a yacht over in Ensenada, Mexico, and then I have 5 yachts here in Florida.
Oh shit.
So I
Yeah, you.
usually have like 10 to 14 projects running like at any given time.
Mhm.
And then I think I have like three lawsuits that I'm involved in. One was a Kmart that was purchased. Super interesting because I did not know what to expect. All I knew was an old Kmart. That's it. And I expected to show up to like a construction site, kind of. When I got there, I noticed that the entire Kmart property had like literally just metal fencing stuck in the parking lot all the way around this place. Like it's a really strange, like, oh, that's clearly the property line. It's just really weird to like they just slapped a fence down, and it wasn't like a chain link cheap fence like you would see at a construction site. Like powder coated black metal all the way around the facility with like nice stonework. What the fuck is this place? Like, what are they planning
Yeah.
on doing here? So like, and then I pull up, and like the building itself still looks like an outside, just an old Kmart that's like being converted. And I pull up to the front windows, and they're like black. It's like stainless steel, like shiny metal, and then like tinted glass you couldn't see in the building. It's like, what is going on in this place? So the guy lets me in the back door. I'm there because their ceiling paint is rusting and falling off. That's all I knew. I walk in, there's probably 10-15 million dollars worth of like priceless cars. It's a car museum, that this private owner's car museum. So Ford GT40s, there's like
Oh my god.
it was the coolest thing that like I just stumbled into. And yeah, literally my job was I have to prove that the seller of the Kmart was supposed to do this right. They didn't. They half-assed it, slapped some random paint on there. They also did roof repairs, I'm convinced, because there's steel roof panels that are coated, like primed, and then there's Sherwin-Williams dry fall, just an acrylic. The steel panels are like, I mean, rusting really bad. Like you can put your finger through some of them.
Oh
And
jeez.
galvanic corrosion. I think they used stainless steel or they used some type of hardware that did not agree with the steel. And you just have these rust blooms on the inside appearing, paint chips falling. Like I was able to get a measurement. The primer, they only put it on 0.3 mils, 0.3 to 0.8.
Well, that ain't gonna do nothing.
No. So of course, like the whole roof is rusting out now, or the whole ceiling, and it's rusting out above priceless cars. So again, we have to figure out if we're going to move all the cars to one side and tackle it half and then half, or is it like, are all the cars going to stay there? We're going to build platform over top of everything. I don't know, but that's what I'm kind of working on right now, is figuring that out. Again, it's probably going to be 700,000, upwards of 1 million, that they literally ruined this roof by doing what they did. If they would have just put the primer on the proper thickness, the primer was all of their protection. So it's like this is a very like cut and dry case. It's not that hard to prove this one.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I got that one going on. But man, that was like I said, just that's what I love about this career. I feel like there's not many careers you can get to stumble upon this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Walk through a back door and there's $30 million sitting there on the ground.
Right. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like not a lot of jobs give you this kind of, I don't even know what you would call it. Like just experiences, I guess.
Oh yeah. That's for sure the word, because it's all different. Even if it's
Right.
the same, it's still different.
Exactly. It's literally been different on, that was the thing I struggled with the most for the first 3 or 4 years of having the business was I didn't have any templates. So like, I'm like, oh, I think, every project that would come in, every single one was new. Like, fuck, like, can I get one? Can I please get one? Because I'm like spending 20 hours on these reports that I'm charging 3 hours for, 4 hours. Because I couldn't charge the client for for me to learn. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because this took me forever, it's on me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the very difficult part. The first 3-4 years of the company was doing that. But now I've gotten to a point where I have templates for just about everything. So, but cool, man. Let's we're gonna call it, and we'll set up one for maybe October or something.
Yeah. Let's do one for October, and then if I can make it down there too, we'll do some exploding videos
For sure,
to say the least.
Yeah, we'll do something cool. But
So,
yeah, man, anytime you want to come down here, for real, I can show you boats, go see a bunch of cool stuff. So
yeah. No, we'll definitely make it down. I know the fiance, she's been wanting to venture down to South Florida too. So
yeah,
we will make it a trip.
awesome. Yeah, my wife, Heather, be happy to introduce you, your wife or fiance. So that's
Basically,
awesome.
why we've been together 9 years, so it's
Yeah,
all over. But the
there
singing.
you go. For sure. Cool, man. Well, this was awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Reach out if you need anything, but I will, once I have this video downloaded, I will get it to you and then chop it up, do whatever you want.
Cool. I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Be
All right.
good.
You too. Take care.
Yep.